In the heart of Ohio, where the steel mills once rang true, Stark County shadows fell on families tried and true. Canton City streets grew cold with warrants never signed. Children taken in the night, leaving broken hearts behind. But voices rose from living rooms, from kitchens, from the fray. Fighters for the family who refused to fade away. Oh, Canton Hall of Shame, you stand against the storm, naming every wrong that's done, keeping families warm. Warriors of the righteous fight through the years of pain and claim. You shine the light on head and mighty, the Canton Hall of Shame. Hey! Justin nicely leads the charge, a single father strong and bold, calling out the overreach in stories yet untold. They march to City Hall, demanding truth and justice where the mighty often fall. From council meetings to the Sixth Circuit's solemn door, they gather evidence and proof they will not fight no more. They broadcast far and wide, exposing every dereliction, every Janeth cried. No warrant, no due process, no mercy in the raid. But these defenders never waver in the promise they have made. When police and agencies conspire to tear the kin apart, these guardians of the heart ignite the people's hearts. They walk the walk of courage, they name the names of wrong, turning silent suffering into a rallying song. For every child returned, for every family whole, the Hall of Shame reminds us, protect the sacred road. Walk Canton Hall of Shame, you stand against the storm, naming every wrong that's done, keeping families warm. Warriors of the righteous fight through the years of pain and claim. You shine the light on hidden might, the Canton Hall of Shame. So raise the banner high across Ohio's open plain. For those who fight for family rights will never fight in vain. From Canton to the nation, let the message ring the same. Honor to the steadfast souls of the Canton Hall of Shame. Don't tread on me when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Wake up, America! In Canton, Ohio, the shadows grow deep. Stark County CPS stealing children in their sleep. No warrants, no justice, just raids in the night. Families torn asunder, but we stand and we fight. Justin nicely calls out the names of the shame. Canton Hall of Shame, igniting the flame. Don't tread on me, don't tread on me. But tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes stupid. Wake up, America! In Canton, Ohio, the shadows grow deep. Stark County CPS stealing children in their sleep. No warrants, no justice, just raids in the night. Families torn asunder, but we stand and we fight. Justin nicely calls out the names of the shame. Canton Hall of Shame, igniting the flame. Don't tread on me, don't tread on me. When tyranny becomes law, when tyranny, rebellion becomes stupid. Rebellion In the heart of Ohio. 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 In the heart of Ohio.
In the freaking heart of Ohio. What's up, everybody? I'm the GPS Punisher, and tonight is our night. We're gonna launch Canton, Ohio Hall of Shame. Man, these guys are they are something, and forced to be reckoned with. And I'm gonna say it's tonight, and this is really kind of rare. This is an in group. So this is really kind of strange too to even see this, that you don't very often get to see that. And I'm not saying that there's anything that there's wrong with that, but it's very seldom do you see a group of men get together and solve these problems. You know, there's always a female somewhere. So this is cool. This whole discussion is just everything about it's cool. So I'm gonna bring out Justin and.
How you doing tonight, brother?
What's up, buddy? And I'm not gonna bring in Henry, but I'll bring in the rest of your boys. Here. We lost one. We lost one in the stray.
No. We can bring him back in here. I'm pretty sure he's got
James is back in the building.
Freeport, so his connection is a little bit lighter than ours.
I was trying. Can you hear me?
We got
I was trying. I was trying to share on other platforms, and it kept booting me off.
Yeah, me too. It did it to me too. I had to rejoin.
That's all right.
Right. I thought it was something on my end. It kicked me off. I tried to reconnect with a couple of my pages. As soon as I tried to do that, it threw me off the page. So I'm not going to be able to share it like I wanted to.
Oh,
you gotta go. You gotta do it on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page and share it off the YouTube page.
We can do it
every time I click away from this page to do anything. It throws me off of it.
That's nuts. Oh man.
I had to put my phone on do not disturb too, because I got a phone call during that. I've actually had to reconnect 3 times.
Well, how do you guys begin? How does this whole Canton Hall of Shame start? How do you guys end up here, and how does this all begin?
Well, Canton Hall of Shame started back in 2019. Canton Hall of Shame started the day I became a father. And that's, I think, with every one of us here, every one of us, you know, that have children, we ended up sitting there sacrificing. Our purpose of living was drastically changed by their first breath coming into this world. And with that being said, in 2019, I had been working my ass off. I was a victim. Me and my children were a victim of Hurricane Irma down in Florida in 2017. We literally, when I say we lost everything, we lost everything. Our house was under 18 inches of water. And then not even 3 days after the storm, we had looters break into the back window and take whatever was left of value. So me and my kids lost everything. So I had a little bit of a nest egg, a cushion. I had to get rid of my business. The same year, my kids also had their mother removed from the home.
Stop.
With all that being said, I mean, 2017 was a hard-ass struggle of a year. Within about 9-10 months, I was able to stack up enough cash, and with a little bit of nest egg I had left, there was no resources, there was no residencies, there was no hotels, anything after that storm. Good luck to you. FEMA came in and was able to sit there and help out. I basically moved me and my family up here to Ohio. And 2019 was my year of, you know, being able to, after working 70 hours a week with 3 kids, get myself from literally just, you know, garbage bags of clothes and toys is all we came here with. And we were able to build up enough to where I had a vehicle. We had plenty of work lined up. I was able to save up to get a place, and I tried to move in, and I run into a slumlord situation out here where he takes my money. He has me sign a lease. He has me pay first month's and security deposit, turn on all the bills in my name, but he doesn't evict the prior tenants. And one thing you'll run into, especially here in the state of Ohio, is if you've been wrongfully grieved, you know, if you have been genuinely a victim of any type of system, doesn't matter. The main 3 words you'll hear is, you know, get a lawyer. No, we have that privilege and luxury as single fathers, you know, taking care of multiple children. You know, we don't have that privilege of a 6-figure income, most of us in the real age, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and, you know, a lawyer in our back pocket. So with that being said, you know, we have to learn ways to handle things on our own. So I had to sit there. I reached out for help from everyone. Everyone told me it's a civil matter, nothing they can do. You know, I have squatters living in my home. I can't get in. I got 3 kids. I'm about to be evicted out of my other place here because I can't leave. And what do you think? CPS steps in all of a sudden.
Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
Oh, of course. You know, and here I am. I'm thinking, you know, naively, very, very naively thinking, you know, I'm a good dad. You know, they're going to take care of the squatter situation. They're going to get rid of these assholes. You know, these people won't let us move in. They're doing drugs in the house. They're treating it like a halfway house. They got, you know, a dozen people in there at any given time. You know, they're going to let me and my family move in. No, what did they do? They opened an investigation on me for turning off the power and the electricity and everything over there because
stuff from them.
Yeah, you know, I can't stay at my house. You know, so I'm not going to pay for the bills until I'm able to move in.
Yeah,
I get an investigation open on me. Well, I'm not too happy about that. So they moved me back to my old place. Is all the, you know, that they could do for me. They hand me a $35 gas card, say, here you go. And, you know, hand me a Ziploc bag of toiletries, considering that these squatters also stole, like, legitimately everything that I've worked my ass off for. Oh, no. Everything we owned, all our TVs, my kids' PlayStations, their toys, you know, clothes, tools. I mean, they stole every damn thing. But they're investigating me because I turned off the power on them. And I can't move in my home. And they come back 3 days later with Canton City Police Department and claim that, oh, well, you know, we got an investigation open that there was drug use in the home and you're under the influence of methamphetamine the way you're acting, because I told them basically to piss off. They weren't any help whatsoever. They didn't do anything about a squatter situation. And they tried to interrogate me. So I wasn't too polite with them.
So basically, you were just having a bad run.
Oh, very. I was upset as hell, and I wasn't going to. And Canton City Police Department has this really bad knack here locally. They enforce policy instead of law, and they will not be above trampling the hell out of your basic freedoms that you have when it comes to the threshold of your home, your freedoms of speech, to speak out. To even try to go through a grievance process and procedures is a very dangerous process out here, where you have to worry about whether or not you're going to be able to go home that day. By doing such, by going through your basic civil processes, if you're going to be thrown in jail or get the hell beat out of you or get set up to be attacked. They came into my home with no warrants. There was nothing signed by any judges.
Of course not.
And they're going through my cupboards. They're going through my closets. They're searching my house. And I'm not supposed to be enraged, guys. Remember, we're, you know, as fathers, as men, and just as parents.
You should get mad about this, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely not. God forbid. You're not allowed to yell. You're not allowed to get angry about what the hell they're doing.
You come and look through all your stuff with no warrants, no nothing.
Oh, yeah. Make me pull my kids' clothes up to make sure there's no
Why not?
no marks and bruises on them, you know, because I'm so abusive, because I'm outraged at what they're
Let them
doing.
go in there and examine your kids. It's fine.
Yeah, you know, it's all okay. But no, I'm not. So, don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Remember, don't get mad. But that's exactly what I did.
Close your mouth, buddy.
Yeah, no, I chewed their asses out, told them that they're the most incompetent bastards on the planet, told them that they haven't done a damn thing to help me and my family. We're the victims here. We're trying to move in. What the hell's going on with these damn squatters? They snatched my babies out of my arms and took them under what's called a juvenile rule 6 here in Ohio, where if there is quote unquote exigent circumstances of abuse and or neglect taking place that they see as law enforcement officers, they are allowed to snatch your children without a court order, without anything signed by a judge. And that's exactly what they did. And they wrote in the reports claiming that I, Justin Nicely, was under the influence of methamphetamine, because, you know, everybody that's got a busted grill, guys, is under the influence of some type of drug out there. You know, it couldn't have been like a car accident that shattered their lower jaw and broke out most of their teeth back in, you know, 02. You know, everybody's under the influence of drugs. So conveniently, I was smart enough to stormtroop their office when they snatched my kids immediately after and demand and force them to give me a drug test. And conveniently, guess what it came back as? Nothing. Not a damn drop of methamphetamine or amphetamines in my system whatsoever, because I've never touched the shit a day in my life. Give me a whole pile of it, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I've always been an advocate for marijuana, and I was more than open about that even prior in 2019 before it was legal here.
You should throw it away.
Huh?
You should throw it away if it ever gets near you.
Oh yeah, you know, I honestly, again, it's just, I've seen the cause and effect of what drug use has done, you know, especially with my ex at the time, my kids' mom. So it's made me see the other side of that perspective, to where it's like, you know, I haven't really ever had any type of, you know, ambition or, you know, want to do it. And it was just outrageous at the fact that these people, you know, have nothing to go off of. You guys are making very horrid allegations against me that, you know, it's an insult.
Right.
You know, y'all might as well be spitting in my face. You've already done that, you know.
They are spitting in your face. They took the kid.
And then you have the audacity to go as far to invade my home and steal my kids. I look at that as kidnapping. There's no other way to put that. That is the word that we're going to be using.
If you pulled out a gun and shot them, you would be in jail.
Bingo. And standard ground law and, you know, castle doctrine in the state of Ohio, and I'll let this be known. A lot of people get the misconception that those that are advocating out here think that we're, you know, that we're, you know, crackerjack box attorneys. Never in any day in my life have I ever claimed to be a litigator, a lawyer, an attorney, or anything else along those lines. But I have been able to speak from experience, from the foundation base of successes that I've been able to have with the system to pass on to others to be able to use to protect themselves, so it doesn't happen to them. But when they stole my children under a JR6, and then they come back to find out, oh, that drug test, oh shit, we screwed up. It didn't stop them from trafficking my babies to New York on 3 different trips to 3 different cities in 1 month time. Cicero, New York, Buffalo, New York, Chicotagua, New York.
Oh my.
How many damn relatives do these fucking people have in a 500 square mile radius in one state? And it's just, you know, it's conveniently, I never know what happened on these trips, because the day the trips start or the day before, when the activity logs end, that to this day they have never released. To this day, they have refused to release the remainder of those activity logs, and they end the day before the trips to New York began. And conveniently, there was an emergency placement to a secondary foster home with the hell raising that I was making about the shit, because it was only me logically thinking, why in the hell are they stealing my kids and taking them all the way to New York and all these trips?
Yep.
All these different cities.
Yeah.
How did they vet these people?
Yeah. Right.
Who the hell are they taking my kids?
Did they even open up a computer for a second and type in their name? At least, did you just type in the foster family's name? Please, the one that you just gave my kids to. Just give me that, like, no, they don't vet them. They don't nothing. They just throw them into these people that are just accept them, get that money, dude. And that's it. See you later. Bye. That's all they do, man.
And then they claim that, again, you're under drugs and everything. Okay, well, that drug test came back. You're not under the influence of methamphetamine like they originally claimed to steal your kids. Oh, well, damn, you were positive for marijuana. So we got to ride on that. We got to ride on that. They started going off on me about this. Yeah, marijuana. And to which I was outraged. I was like, so what? You want me to become a part of the epidemic? You want me to go pop a pill? Because, I have, anxiety dealing with you assholes.
Yeah, who wouldn't blame you, right? Who shouldn't blame you? Really? When they take that away from you, like, at that point, if you've created this now, so fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, no, you've done this. My life was fine. I went to work every day. I did this. I did that. I did all these things that I'm supposed to do. And they take your kid. You drop off of that stuff. This real life they take that life from you, man.
They do.
It's terrible.
And do that to a papa bear.
They take it from your children too.
Yes.
Yes.
And
they take that life from your children too. Them children suffer worse than we do.
Of course they do.
Bingo. I mean, my son.
And then when we get them home, we got to rebuild them.
I mean, my oldest son was so affected by this, like, I don't really like talking about it much because he's of age now. He's almost about to be 16. But I mean, that kid showed up, in horrid, ratchet conditions when he showed up to the visits. My daughter's hair was chopped off, completely chopped off. Her hair used to be down all the way down to her lower back. It was chopped off to her shoulders. Never authorized that. My youngest son, Damien, I mean, I call him my teddy bear, man. He's my little big guy. You see that spark and that light in him just gone. He's standing there like a zombie, not knowing what the hell is going on. And I can't explain anything because anytime I try to talk to my children during a visit, they're threatening to take it away. They're sending armed security guards on me.
Yeah, that's their tactic right there. You don't mention a thing about this case.
Every time I try to go in and obtain paperwork information, I'm getting security called on me to kick me out of the building. I'm having Canton City Police Department show up to a county office over a civil matter. Remember, keep in mind, this is all a civil matter. So why are we calling Canton City Police Department, a city law enforcement agency, for a county issue when I'm sitting here trying to exercise issues of just obtaining paperwork information? Why are we involved in law enforcement? And then why are you guys telling me I have to go get this mental health exam at this exact location? Yeah. And then when I do, you don't like the results that came back, so you tell me to go get another one. Mm-hmm. To which I tell you gladly to go fuck yourself. Give me back my babies. Yeah. And that was the mindset I had the entire time that they had my children. There was no negotiation with them. There was no, I looked at you flat out as enemy number one, and I'm going to treat you as such. You have my children. And when you do this to, legitimate papa bears out here, like myself, like Josh, like James, and men that have been, by their kids' side since the first day of their birth. I mean, they have given their heart, blood, sweat, tears, and soul into their children. You don't cross that threshold because that famous phrase, you don't poke the bear. Well, papa bears across the nation, man, need to stand the hell up.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's exactly what happened. I was such a ratchet pain in their ass. Every day I'm in their office getting threatened to get thrown in jail. Every day I'm at the police station dogging the chief, dogging the lieutenants, dogging IA, dogging every officer involved. And by the time the first preliminary hearing came in, they're sliding a piece of paper across the thing, on the table saying, hey, sign this. And we're just going to claim dependency. And here's your kids back as they drop them off on the porch 2 months later after kidnapping them. Right. And with all that being said, unfortunately, right after that happened, I wasn't even entitled, for the reach around and courtesy of being able to file a grievance or complaint in all the matter because COVID hit.
Nice. So you're lucky again. Perfect. What about you guys, man?
Well, Jay, you want to go first, and then I'll go?
my wife and my daughter got into a physical altercation. My daughter tried to choke my wife out one day in her bedroom because my daughter threatened another child she goes to school with on her cell phone. She used her cell phone to send threatening messages to her and even told the little girl to hang herself in her own mother's closet. So my wife and I tried to obtain the cell phone as a punishment. You know, you're not going to use the phone correctly. You're going to use it to cause, you're going to use it to cause harm. You're going to use it to, be unruly. We're going to take your phone. Well, can you give me a few minutes, please? It's not. I promised it's not. Give me a. No, they're not. They're hiding from you. Go play. Harmony and Lucy is missing. So, long story short, instead of my daughter giving my wife a cell phone, she decided to choke my wife.
Oh my God.
And my daughter is probably every bit of 190 pounds. She's built like Brock Lesnar. Okay, Josh and Justin met my daughter just this last weekend. They've seen her. She's a big girl. I mean, my wife, she's kind of a big girl too, but when you're being choked in the corner of a room, I don't care who you are. First thing that comes to your mind is to bop this person and get them off you.
Amen.
Well, my wife, my wife bopped her. Okay, got her off of her. My wife left the situation, walked all the way to another floor of the house. My daughter called 911.
Get out.
Okay, made it sound like the mother was beating the pulp out, beating the shit out of her, basically.
Yeah.
So they come out, ultimately arrested my wife on a DV, which she only spent one night in jail. Next morning, they let her out. My children were still here. The CPS did not get involved. 6 days later, CPS removed my children from their school with an emergency ex parte motion that said that it had everything to do with the assault that happened between my wife and my daughter. But there wasn't any concern in the 5 days in between the sixth day.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And they did absolutely nothing when in Ohio law says that they have to show reasonable efforts that they've tried to retain the family intact. They didn't do anything. They didn't even knock on my door. They just went straight to my kids' school 6 days later and took my children. I have zero record. I've never been in trouble a day in my life. I've been self-employed. I buy storage lockers for a living and I sell them at flea markets and swap meets. I do very well for my family. There was no reason why they couldn't, even a safety plan, something. They could have did something other than what they did. They just jumped straight taking the children. They kept my children for 14 months. Within those 14 months, 2 of my children were abused, and it's documented within the activity logs. And my kids told the guy at their forensic interviews at the Harmony House in St. Clairsville, Ohio, told them they were abused by this caretaker. My 11-year-old got kicked in her stomach because the caretaker was pissed off at her. And because my 6-year-old would not go to bed because she had school the next morning, they placed her outside in her freaking nightgown to sit in the snow. Not in the snow, but it was snowing outside on their porch on a bench while it was snowing outside.
Oh, man.
And me and my wife tried to press the issue. We've been in and out of these sheriff's departments trying to talk to the Harrison County Sheriff's Department here where my children are in their custody, and in the Guernsey County Sheriff's Department where the incident happened. And neither of the sheriff's departments want to get involved because I don't have custody of my children.
Oh,
and CPS didn't report the crimes to the proper authorities. It's not up to the CPS agents to investigate criminal acts.
No, they got the power of God, remember? Judiciary,
right.
Judge, jury, executioner, and the works here.
And here just in December, because I was raising a great niece of mine because my niece didn't want her. She just gave birth to this kid and threatened to kill it the day it was born.
Right.
And me and my wife decided after the 4th month that we would take the baby, and we raised that baby till she was almost 6 years old. When they came in my house and took my children, they took her too, just to reunify her back with the biological mother that is now facing charges. And the whole family subpoenaed to go to court to testify on that baby's behalf here within the next 10 days. Well, no,
And
the 10 days in
quick,
10 days we pick the jury, and 15 days we go to court.
well, real quick too, since we are live and he did bring that up, we do want to give a shout out to anybody out here in Ohio. Everybody knows how we are as far as court watching. A unified mass to sit there, observe, document, and report to the masses that would be able to sit there and write out their own sworn affidavit of facts and what it is that they witness in these courtrooms. It makes all the difference in the world as far as the accountability aspect. So we are sending a call out across the entire state of Ohio for anybody who is available for 6-year-old baby Cora, okay, who was neglected and completely thrown on the back burner by this godforsaken system and then put into the hands of an abuser. Now, we've heard
the biological mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mother makes this child sit by the door to eat her food. She's not allowed to sit at the kitchen table like the rest of the family.
What?
So we're
going to court. That's what we're fighting for right now. And she picked that child up by her arms and threw her on the floor like a sack of potatoes and injured that baby. And CPS did nothing. They took the baby the night that it was reported, and the very next day after school, CPS released the baby back to the biological mother.
And now the mother faces charges.
And now the mother's facing charge, but the mother still has the baby.
Now make that make sense, people. So we're sending all.
I'll tell you why it makes sense. Because it happened to me. I know why it makes sense, because Harrison County wants to make sure that they make it look like they made the right decision.
Yep. Unfortunately for them, though, this is going to happen in Summit County, 172 South Broadway. Write down that address, people.
See, he said Summit County, and I said Harrison County. Let me clarify that for you guys real quick. My daughter, my great niece that I call my daughter because I raised her, went to Summit County from Harrison County back to the biological mother. Harrison County's in cahoots with Summit County and told Summit County not to deal with any of the reports from the family on that child. We sent the police. We called the police over there for a well check. I want to say around mid to late December. And the officer sent my wife a text message and said that the CPS agency basically told them to kick rocks and they know what's the best interest of the child.
Y'all hear this, people. This is how it is here in Ohio as far as the law enforcement not even understanding their own roles.
That's a Lakemore Police Department. That's the Lakemore Police Department right inside Springfield Township, Ohio, right on the outskirts of Akron. Right in between Akron and Canton.
Call them out, and that's what we do. We will name departments. We will name the officers. We will name the caseworkers. We will name the judges. And that's what we all need to do in a unified front and get accountability. Now, the problem that these officers did was they literally said the dictation and control is all under the CPS guys. CPS said, we're taking care of this investigation. That's not your place. So with that being said, baby Cora needs our help. The system has failed her. We're the first line of defense for these babies. It's been made perfectly obvious that the system is not going to help. So we are sending an APB call out for May 6th. Mark your calendar on May 6th, 8:30 a.m. Be at 172 South Broadway at the Akron Municipal Courts for baby Cora, 6-year-old baby Cora. We're going to be showing in mass. We're going to be there again, not to sit there and raise a hellstorm, not to sit there and create disturbances, but we are going to be there to observe, document, and report. We're going to hang on every single word said. We are going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and deeply scrutinize testimony given as far as protecting this little girl. So we encourage everybody to please come bear witness, be there at that court hearing for this little girl. Her name is Cora. Again, 172 South Broadway, Akron Municipal Courts, May 6th, 8:30 a.m. We need as many court watchers there as humanly possible. And this is the things that we do here as far as being able to get some type of overhaul in this system.
Absolutely. And thank you, Justin. Thank you. Another thing I wanted to cover on here, on August 26th of 2025, we was at a reunification hearing to bring my children home. Everything in my case plan had been completed for months by then. We shouldn't have had to wait till August 26th for a hearing. We should have been in May or June. We should have had that hearing, but they made us wait all the way to August 26th for that hearing. And then during that hearing, I realized that me and my wife realized that we were able to speak to the judge about some of our concerns during that hearing. So my wife brought up the fact that they transported my kids over 200 miles on two separate occasions that we know of without proper safety restraints for a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old child.
And that would be a felony if they caught you doing it.
Right. I couldn't even go to the gas station with my kid without a car seat. They'd put me in jail. But anyway, the point of the matter is what they did in that sense is they retaliated. Everybody in that courtroom, the judge, the prosecuting attorney, CPS, the guardian ad litem, everybody that was in that room was in agreement to send my children home. And then that judge asked my wife if she had any questions or concerns, and she brought that up. And in retaliation, the CPS agency brought up some sexual abuse allegations that had no substantiating findings. I've got all the police reports. The investigation's over. They had nothing. In fact, they did the entire investigation in September, but didn't close it until late December.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did that to hold my children and delay my case those additional months. And in the meantime of that, because they were so stuck in their ways of committing fraudulent acts and manufacturing, whatever it is they were trying to manufacture, they forgot that their 12-month extension in the state of Ohio was over. They went on past the 12-month extension, and it took me and my wife filing, I'll tell you about the contempt of courts in a minute, but it took us filing contempt of courts against Children Protective Services and file an immediate reunification because they don't have jurisdiction over my children, because in the state of Ohio, that jurisdiction ends at 12-month mark without asking for an extension in custody.
Yeah.
And they don't care about these. But his kids are back, and again, another
jump on it. He might let you in.
Able to,
and hit it.
Some of that 50-50 reunification, and then we got
Follow
Josh.
your way in that motherfucker. My wife might join us.
So hey,
watch my page.
So
but anyway,
hold on a second.
So Renee from Toll and Roll says that they have a team leading Ohio's Remedy and Restoration Act, she said. And I think that she's talking about, because all these people on the side, I don't know if you see them, like Becca's talking, she's from Ohio.
And available.
Yeah, all these people are ready to help and willing to help you guys. So,
all right.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what happened after that August 26th hearing. Me and my wife got a little bit smarter. A motion of discovery.
You're breaking up, brother.
That motion of discovery. Well, when we got that motion of discovery, it was a auto delete file sent to my wife's email that was set up to automatically delete after opening the file. So you will never be able to find the source of that file after 7 to 14 days, which is fraudulent. And then we get it, we open it up, we start going through it, and every other page in the entire document is completely redacted from top to bottom. The only thing they're allowed
looking
to
like
legally redact
files.
I told the judge, my wife told the judge in the courtroom on record that our activity log looked like the Epstein files, and he put it in the you get a little letter after you go to court from the judge. It tells you about the little breakdowns of what happened at court. He told my wife that he didn't show her any evidence, that she didn't show him any evidence at all whatsoever that my files looked like that. I mean, dude, Justin and Josh has seen my files. They look probably worse than the Epstein files.
I saw a lot of black lines going through that text, and I didn't. And the cool thing is that they're retarded enough to sit there. If it's not a copy, James has found an interesting technique where you can unedit stuff. So
just don't tell them how I'm doing it, bro.
Tell you how, but we can tell you that we can unredact redacted files. That's all we're gonna say.
Only authentic. If they're authentic, because what did in my case,
copies, remember, if they're not, so they got to be again. And we're making this thing called the Parents Bible. It is available for everyone across the state of Ohio. If you're a parent, it stops CPS directly at the door with a notice of service, telling them that they have no legal authority to be there, that you are invoking you and your child's right to remain silent under the circuit, to shut down all gag orders, people. You hearing this?
So check this out. Check this out, Justin.
Gag orders, brother.
Once they gave me that redacted file, I filed a motion to compel. But I also filed it with sanctions against Harrison County, Ohio. Okay? And then the judge granted it, but he didn't give me my sanctions. He granted the compel, but he did not give us any sanctions. So he gave them to a specific date, which I believe was November 18th to compel. Okay. Well, when compel. So I gave him another week. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to give him another week. Oh, I'll mean to cuss on your platform. My bad. But anyway, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to let them wait another week. I'm going to give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? They still never compelled. So me and my wife filed a motion of contempt of court. And when we went to court for that, the CPS agency put their reunification hearing in the same hearing. So they reunified my kids, but they threw the contempt motion under the desk.
Oh, man.
That's what they
We weren't even able to talk about it.
No. Your motions will get all thrown to the side just so they don't have to sit there and hear the arguments of them real quick. So again, it's easier for them to sweep it under the rug. And look, there's the Epstein files, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we went on home. There you go. That's exactly. Yep. That's my wife showing everybody the files that I got.
There's the Epstein files, folks.
Just everywhere you look through the whole thing. So anyway, we got them in this predicament where the judge has thrown my contempt motion under the desk. He didn't want to talk about it. So we go home and we write up more motions that forced him to pull that motion back out. And then he said he ruled on those motions without ruling on them motions.
Oh, interesting.
That's Ohio.
So now I'm not allowed to have my files unredacted.
Yep. And that's
my case is closed. My children are home. All except for my great niece that they shoved back in that other home.
No, it sounds like you're going to get it, man. You guys are sharks, man.
Oh, we're gonna kill them, bro. We're not gonna kill them with guns or anything like that. We're gonna kill them with a pen and paper, like they try to do to us.
Yeah, the pen's mine.
The judge also wanted my book.
Facts.
Yeah, the judge also wanted my wife's book. He tried to take her evidence. We got
take my whole book.
Nope, not happening. You go do that legwork. That's ours.
He said, "I will document it, put it all in evidence, and you won't get it back." Made that
up. We will tell everybody, if anyone is listening, the most number one crucial thing, and we tell everybody to treat this like a religion. Record, 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 and it's so important.
And let me go ahead and tell you why you record. Because them caseworkers and them prosecutors cannot remember any of the lies that they've told you.
Facts, and the truth always supersedes the lie, because with the lie they got to keep sitting there remembering the damn thing. It takes a hell of a lot more effort to remember a lie than it does the truth. And I tell everybody, when I say record, teach and learn your recording laws of your state. Josh has one. I have one. These things we walk around with, I have multiples of these. I have one in the truck. I have one.
Look, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret about recording. I got a Cube ACR. It's called Cube ACR. I put it on my phone. I downloaded it to my phone. And then you put a Cube ACR helper on your phone. There's two separate apps. They work together. And you can pay $24.99 a year, and it'll record every phone call that comes to your phone.
There you go. And there's ways to make sure that you sit there and get it's called accountability and transparency. And this is what they're
it does not tell the other party that you're recording their phone call either. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like here where we're at, Ohio, it's a one-party consent state. Anywhere else where it's a two-party consent state, get yourself friend. Have a conversation with your friend while you're having a conversation with those people. Now you have two-party consent.
Now, this is what we're also telling everybody now. In one-party consent state, we're letting everyone know your golden ticket's written. And what we mean by that is that not only are you, this is your opportunity. Again, your defense is you. You are the front line for your children, for your family, for your own protection and safety. You do not depend on anybody else for that. You better depend on that for yourself. Treat this, like I said, like a religion. You better make this a habit. Every time that phone rings, boom, you're right here with it. On speaker, ready to go. Every single time.
Or download the app and spend the money, because I'm going to tell you, it's so much easier just to know it's already recorded. You download that caseworker's name in your phone, so it says your caseworker's name, and then you could go into that Cube ACR app and search that caseworker's name and pull up every recording you've ever recorded of that person. It's all already lined up. Everything's dated and timed.
Every time you go to a team meeting, every time you go to a visit with your child, every time that you sit there and have a home visit by these people to inspect your property, you record them on audio. You record them on video. These are your weapons.
Facebook.
Yes. And we'll put you on the internet.
You've seen that, right?
Now, the reason why we tell everybody to treat this like a religion is because you have
This
no
is my
idea
holy
how.
Bible.
Hey, look at what my wife's talking right there. Back up a little more. They can't see that. There you go. That's
a lot.
That's I'm gonna tell you. Every bit of that is evidence against the state of Ohio.
Yep. And what's so funny is that anybody that's been involved with the family court system, I can tell you now, that pile of documentation that you're showing right there, I guarantee you every home out there who has been involved with family courts, child protective services, your pile and your stack, I can guarantee you is probably through the roof. Everybody.
Yeah, but a lot of these people, though, here's the problem. They throw them in the drawers. They throw them in a box somewhere. They throw them in the trash. They can't do that, man. You got to stack that shit up as it comes so you can just compile it in order and put yourself a timeline together.
Now, that's what I've been also teaching everybody. The crucial aspects of this is what we've been teaching. Again, empowering people with the knowledge to be able to fight back. So you're not making the same dumbass decisions, dumbass mistakes that have been constantly made by countless others that have failed repeatedly time and time again. To constantly keep doing the same shit over and over again that doesn't work is plain and simple the definition of insanity. We're here to teach people what my famous phrase is, to kick your ass off of that burning carousel. What I teach everybody is to make a chronological timeline. And what I say by this is that don't just sit there and get all your paperwork and documentation and court documents all together and everything and stack it up and say, here. No. What you want to do is, when I say you write out a chronological timeline, you're only going to have to do this one time. And all them piles of documentation that you have are from that point nothing but exhibit pieces. You won't have to refer to all of that nonsense. You won't have to lose your damn mind looking for this piece, looking for that piece. You have what is called that timeline, that affidavit of fact, chronologically written out from the beginning of what started all this shit, from the very first engagement.
You see this right here? You see this?
Yes.
You know, this is our app, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. Check it out. You start your cases here. You open your cases here. And then that creates, once you upload your documents and you do all that, it creates a timeline for you. It creates case files for you. It puts your evidence in. So watch, if I select this right here, this is just case right here. Right? You come to there's case notes. That way you save your items, things that go on. Visitation log, when you go see your kids, you add the visit log here. All the stuff that you need is all in here. And it goes for days, dude. There's so much, all of this.
And y'all see this. Now, when we're doing our chronological timelines,
right, document for you.
I'm loving this, because if you're looking at all of this, we tell everybody that as hard as it's going to be when you first start this, again, you're only going to have to do this one time. Do your chronological timeline. You're going to sit there and stick to the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why, what took place. And then remember, leave emotions out of it. Emotion is not going to save y'all. Emotion is not going to help you guys. Emotion does not make you rationally think logically as far as what's going to happen and think 20 steps ahead on how to defeat their game and their playbook that we all know. So you want to stick to strictly the facts of what took place. Who was there? What was said? Where did it take place at? What happened in the
convention? And you know what, Justin? Here's another thing I want to add to that. You can literally go up on your state, don't matter what state you're in, and you can look up the revised yearly handbook that them CPS workers are supposed to be following.
Yeah.
I printed their handbook out and handed it to them and told them they might want to read it.
Yes, especially under 5101-9-11, Section 6, where it specifically talks about them retaliating against parents and their grievance processes.
Right. Now, I can see what he's doing, but
5100 too. That one's beautiful too, where it actually talks about their administrative codes and what they're supposed to be following.
Right. I'm gonna want that app this guy's looking through here.
That's on the Fight CPS website there, brother.
Send me the info, Justin. Yeah. Okay, so
if Darren, if you want to do us a big favor, brother, if you want to post the link to where everybody out there watching in the comment section, they can click on that bad boy and go check that out.
So here's a cool thing I want to show everybody is this here. On this, there's an advocate search where you can go in and you'll be vetted for being an advocate, but you'll get put on this list of advocates that's like accepted by the website. So you just apply here, put your information up there. That way people in areas can find advocates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we need to be able to. Is there a way we can filter that though? Because we found that there are so many people trying to be advocates that don't have their own cases done.
And now that that's been said, okay. The can of worms got open. I'm gonna go fishing, guys.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell everybody out there, if you're listening, when you're out here and you're involved with the family courts, remember what I said as far as thinking rationally, try to leave emotion out of it entirely. You're gonna run across many people that you're gonna see in the limelight out here, speaking on behalf of children and families, speaking out about how they are front line, gladiators and warriors in this fight. And I'm going to let you know, most of them are full of shit. And I'm going to be the first one out there to tell you, most of them are full of shit. And they're either one of a few categories of types. Either A, they're clout chasers. They're just in this to stay relevant and have a name for themselves to feel relevant. Yet again, They don't have any foundation-based success themselves to offer anyone. They just, again, are out here hearing something and then repeating some nonsense that they may have heard that sounds good. You also got people out here that are legitimate scam artists that are taking advantage of those that have been abused by the system, taking advantage of the traumas that has taken place. And these people are desperate. They're looking for help. So with that being said, there's people out here that are willing to, unfortunately, take advantage of those that are desperate looking for that help and
Take
try
your
to
money and give you bad information.
monetary gains.
They're
Oh,
just
I'll
taking
file this
money.
paperwork for you. I'll do this, that, and the other. But yet they don't really, again, have a foundation-based success themselves to offer you that they can say, hey, this worked for me. Another type that you got to worry about are those that are out here claiming that they're advocates. Is that if you see them asking you to give them money, but yet they haven't got right now, they currently are still fighting their case. Why are you going to pay these people? Why are you going to give these people money and donate to them to go across the country to fight for you, to go serve all these notices to these councils and to these commissions, but yet
They
they
can't
have
even,
nothing
when they can't even
themselves.
sit in their own, when they
They have
can't even sit
nothing.
in their own county and win their own case.
Exactly my point. And now you also got the narcissists and the abusers. Now these people are the ones that are, a lot of times they got the 6-figure incomes and plus they feel that, money, they could throw it at the problem and they could fix it. Certain individuals, I'm not the type, I'm going to give these assholes any type of credit, but this one particular one, everybody knows, Weagle.
Ah,
Solid piece of shit.
I didn't do that, did I?
Narcissistic, egotistical maniac, plain and simple, that has, again, no experience, complete rookie in this game, and couldn't fight his ass out of a damn paper bag if his life depended on it when it came to advocacy for our children and
My
families.
Lord.
So with that being said, again, no filter here, people at Canton Hall of Shame, everybody. So
You know what, though? People don't
you
make the
feel
mistake
some
with those type
way,
of
the last
people.
one, there's one more group of advocates out here that I'm going to call out tonight. Yes, I'm calling them all out, damn it. Okay? Because if you feel some type of way, maybe you need to do a little bit of self-reflection in the mirror. Okay? I'm going to call out the people that have been in this shit for 20, 25, 30 plus damn years, that are possibly even a part of, the creation of ASFA, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how they have been in this game for so damn long, stonewalling the movement for others, stonewalling the connections in order to possibly get something done, stonewalling any other advocates out here that, again, that actually might have
Have they been, or have they been leading? Hold on. Have they been doing that, or are they leading the way? Because there was no path for them to go down when this all started.
I'm talking about the ones that are stonewalling the movement, not the ones that are out here that have been here forever and everything, that have, pioneered this thing. Okay. We're talking about the ones that are riding the coattails off of the pioneers, claiming that they're advocates and everything like that, but yet want to stonewall any information to get to the people that could help these people. And there's tons of those out there. We know it as well. And then as you're talking
about the clout. You're talking about the clout chasers, the one that want to say, "Oh, look at me," but they ain't got nothing to look at.
Captain Meeseeks out here. There's so many of them that need to get a captain's hat and a fucking cake. It's plain and simple.
Captain Meeseeks.
Captain Meeseeks. Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!
Well, captain's hat.
But these are our problems that we're facing in the advocacy world now. Those of us that are real advocates. Number one, me to help you guys out here, I will never ask you to pay me a dime, okay? Because when it comes to filing the motions and when it comes to actually going off into the courts, you're on your own. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do to help you other than to sit there and guide you to that point. But once you get to that point, you have to go in there and act like you own that son of a bitch. Those are my kids. You're giving them back. And you have to.
You know what, though? We've helped some people. We've tried to help some people that don't deserve the help, though. They sit there and lie to us about their cases. And then we're sitting there trying to give them advice to try to bring their kids home when their kids really don't need to be home. And,
Amen.
Children Protective Services is actually probably needed, but they need to stop taking innocent people's children and start taking and putting their efforts toward actually going after the abused children. There are children that live in my area that will not get taken by CPS because they're very hard to deal with. CPS can't sell a child that's going to bust your windows or act like an animal when he goes to that foster home. They can't profit off of a child that's going to act like an animal. So they're going after these kids that get good grades, that smell good, that respect everybody. They're going after good kids that aren't actually abused because it's hard to sell a child that's been abused.
So the whole idea and what we're proposing across the nation is the campaign is called #StandUp. And what we're encouraging everybody is that the complete abolishment of the family courts in its entirety, to where when it comes to child protective services intervening in stealing and kidnapping our children, there damn well better be a criminal offense taking place as well.
Yes.
If you take the children, you damn well better
not just one either. Not, you're right, but if it's a 2-parent household, both parents better be going in handcuffs to take that child.
Bingo.
If there's a parent in that home, if there's a grandparent that lives in that home, they shouldn't be allowed to take that child.
That's right.
Bingo. And my reasoning for this is what I'm saying is, that seems a little harsh. No, what that does is that we'll send it to not family court. That goes to the criminal courts, to where now we're not dealing with this bullshit of the weight of the feather that we all know that 51% of a lie is the damn truth. And now you are sitting there trying to prove your innocence to the guilt that they've already established, to the preemptive bias that have already been set by the guardian ad litem, by these lying ass caseworkers, by these judges and magistrates that don't know you from a hole in a wall, but are going off of the lies that are written out in these damn reports and making their decisions right there in the immediate process to keep the children in retained custody. No more of that. What we want is evidence. What we want is trials. What we want is lawyers' representation of and or assistance of counsel, which would be more preferable.
Speaking of trials, my wife was going to take her domestic to trial, and she was following through with that. Like we were dead ready for trial. We was a week away from trial, and her public defender come out to her at the last pretrial and said, "Look, we're going to offer you this plea deal. And if you don't take the plea deal, they're going to make it really hard for you to reunify with your children."
Real quick, was it disorderly conduct by any chance?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
And it's my first offense.
I'm a mind reader. It's disorderly conduct.
Okay. So they coerced her into taking the plea deal so that she could get her children home.
They told me they were going to give me sexual assault abuse charges, along with the abuse of a minor child under the age of 21 with a disability, also domestic violence, or I could take the disorderly conduct.
And I'll put it out there. She has a mental disorder because she thinks that she thinks she's a man. She wants to have a surgery, and I'll get funny with it. I ain't never going to pay for no addictomy. She needs to just pull out the tricoxagen and get over it.
Oh, I like that tricoxagen. I've heard addictomy.
Oh my God, I'm fucking dead over here. That's great. And now, if you want to talk about abuses, people, Josh's story, if anybody hasn't followed along with the story of Josh Brown.
Yeah, Josh has got a...
This man, I've been by this man's side for over a year, and I have never seen a father fight harder to be with his child, or to want to be a father to his child, that has gotten nothing but the fucking shaft every turn, every way imaginable. Right. And this is a story that needs to be told about the abuses that take place to these babies. Go ahead, Josh.
Hello, everyone. I put on there hashtag free Tyreek Brown. That's what I normally put on Facebook. My name is Joshua Brown. Really, my real name isn't Joshua. I was adopted at 6 months old. Now, the reason why I go son is because I was in the system myself. Um, right now, my son is with my adoptive family, and that was not a choice of mine at all. Justin is just my side. He's my witness to everything that's been occurring to me. My son. Let's start out with my son's mom abandoned him with me for 9 to 8 months. I had my son during the school year. I'm the one that got him his shots for school. He never took him to the doctor. Even before that, let's start before that then. So, like Jay said, Akron is corrupted as hell. My son's mom lost custody in Akron. She lied on me and got a protection order, and then I had to go to court and beat that. I beat it. The judge dismissed it without prejudice, he said, because there was no evidence of anything. He said it doesn't make sense that she did this, and it was stupid. So then after I beat that, she lost custody in Akron. That took me a year and a half. I was already going for my rights down in Fort County. Let's talk about the corruption here. So if you understand, if you have a case already going somewhere else, that child should be delivered to where that other court is. That overproceeds that other court. So that never happened, which is the same judge I have right now, which is Rosemary Hall.
Rosemary Hall, people.
Corrupted.
Rosemary Hall. Yep.
So
she's a what we call snaps.
So
we'll give the acronym real quick. That is a succubus, Neanderthal, abusive, pedophile sympathizer. Right. All the snaps are getting called out in 2026, people.
Yes.
So it took me a year and a half to get shared parenting rights. My lawyer made Rosita sign an NDA. I mean, technically, I'm not supposed to say what's inside of it, but I'm never supposed to lie. That's one of them. That's in there. She's never supposed to lie on me ever again. Obviously, that's not true. She never decided. She decided to lie on me multiple times already. After getting him out the system, that's when she only had him for 3 months. Dropped him right off to me. Never came around. So it took me going down to Job and Family Services, to Child Protective Services, to the police station to report that she dropped him off. No one wanted to do anything about it. Her not contacting me. I'm showing the police text messages. I even showed the caseworker. I got a Job and Family Services. So ended up getting a caseworker, explained everything, ended up getting insurance for him through Job and Family Services because it was more, my job was, it was just too late to actually get the insurance. And we would have passed him to add him on as an emergency for the insurance. After, I say, just before school was about to start, Rosita came to my home, drunk on drugs, decides to argue with me, pulls our son out of my car, out the car window, and buckles him from his car seat, pulls him right out the window. He's screaming because he's in shock. Like, my mom is pulling me out the window. Like, so I put the car fully in park. I turned my car off. This is at my house. I had just pulled up. She just randomly popped up to my home. So I ended up getting out the car. Next thing I know, I basically talked her into going up onto the porch. She said she wanted to spend time with him. It's fine. That's okay. I'm not a crappy dad. You know, I'm not going to alienate the parent, the other parent. I'm not that type of person. I would never do that because I feel like that's unfair. If it's done to me, you know, oh well, you know, I'm gonna complain about it, but I'm not. It just doesn't make sense to do the same thing to somebody else that's doing it back to you sometimes.
Now,
So
remember, keep in mind, this is at Josh's home. She shows up intoxicated. She's acting a damn fool. The neighbors are all outside. She brought friends to his home to sit there and antagonize and rage bait and play games. And listen to what the hell this woman does next.
so she jumps off the banister. I mean, do you guys have a banister piece on y'all's porches? Like the hold on,
Yeah.
I have it. I have one here.
I know what you
We got
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she jumps off the banister with our child in her arms. I jumped too.
What?
Luckily, I was able to catch them in midair. I wrapped my body around them. We fell down onto the ground. My neighbors are screaming, scared, because she has a baby in her hands. You're jumping off of a banister. Does that make sense? Like, you're doing something cuckoo. I didn't know what to do fully. I'm glad my reaction kicked in. My reaction kicked in. So able to save my child from real harm. Ends up trying to explain this to Canton police. When they show up, me and my neighbors are trying to explain this to the Canton police, and Canton police weren't trying to hear me. They decided to take the sweeter side, my son's mother, and the next thing I know, I'm in handcuffs. I'm going to jail for child endangerment, for it was something else they were trying to hit me for, domestic violence. They were trying to hit me for domestic violence. So they end up telling me, you know,
real quick too, that the law enforcement agency that showed up that night, nationally, people, has been in the news numerous times. The Canton City Police Department nationally has been in the news for shooting people through privacy fences, for having the investigative tact of a cinder block, possibly a brick, maybe if they're lucky, for sitting on top of people for over 5 to 7 minutes until they killed them and now are on trial, sicking canines on handcuffed suspects that are on the ground, already detained in handcuffs, sicking canines on them, drop kicking youths in the projects who are on their knees with their hands in the air.
They shouldn't even be using a canine as a weapon to begin with. The dog.
Time out. Here's another one. Coming 6 deep to my home with no warrant, nothing. Pulling out AR-15s, about to come kill me.
Because of a caseworker's report saying that Josh Brown threatened them on a Facebook post from 2 weeks prior. Now, conveniently, when these officers came with rifles to his home, okay, and pulled him out of the trunk, it was because the day prior, the man passed out over 1,000 of these copies of the police report that told the truth about his son, his 6-year-old little boy, being.
Just so we still ain't get there yet. You're giving up the beans before we give out the pudding.
Giving up the truth, brother. Continue.
Okay, so that I've had issues with Rosita. I've tried to explain this to the police multiple times. She's tried to kill me. She tried to stab me, hit me with a car. I'm just saying, it's been a lot of issues with the child's mother. Our prosecutors won't do anything. If you try to go get a protection order, they won't give it to us here. I've tried to multiple times to get a protection order. They won't give me one. So you got to play nice, right, with the person. You got to try to play nice you got to be the adult up here. You got to be the adult instead of being aggressive with this person if they're coming aggressive at you, right? That's what the prosecutor the last time told me. You have to be. You can't. You got to run. Go run. Go run. If someone is chasing you with a butcher knife, go run. Go run.
Legit.
I don't care if
Stand
you're
your
on your
ground law
property.
goes right out the window. Yeah,
I don't
castle
care if
doctor.
you're on your property. You in your parking lot, out on your property.
No,
You know.
no.
And whoever's saying facts of sovereignty, I mean evidence of knowing who you sleep with. Hey, I didn't have no evidence that she was crazy. It was just a one-time deal. I made a mistake. Okay. But my child is not a mistake, though. I actually stand up for my child. So let's go back here. Okay. So CPS now has, just like how Jay said, I have CPS on the stand in Akron saying that they messed up. They should have gave me full custody of Tyreek. And we've been trying to get those documents from Akron. So be cautious on how you try to get your stuff from Akron, because they'll send you some different stuff.
Something about Akron. Let me tell you something about Akron. A lot of people don't know. They're a model agency. They're the training facility for all the rest of the agencies within the state of Ohio. So if we find all the corruption right there where they're training them all to be corrupt, I mean, we might be in the right place anyway.
Yep, we got them on the top 10 radar as far as the counties that are the hottest ones out here, and that's not in a good light, people.
You know,
Okay.
by the way, in my county hits number 1 in the state for being the most corrupt. And I was able to fight them cowards and get my children home. But go ahead, Josh, continue.
Okay, so then Reseda loses custody again this time. And I don't know if I said this very clearly. I ended up getting Tyreek back in my custody, right? He was back in my custody, not in Reseda's custody. So CPS comes after me complaining to them and everything, explaining that she abandoned him. They decide to put out a, what is that, Rule 8 or a Rule 6?
Juvenile Rule 6.
So they decided to JR6 all her kids. Now, I had just dropped my son. I had dropped him off to school, and I ended up going to the bus stop like I always do to pick him up. Next thing I know, the bus driver tells me, no, the kids aren't on the bus. I said, which kids? My son should be on this bus. I said, and he was like, because I cleared it with the bus depot. That I was always the parent to come get them from the bus stop. So, because you got to take your custody papers into the bus depot. I don't know if all y'all know that when you got to go pick up your kid, you got to take up actual papers to the bus depot. So, the bus depot cleared it. Like I said, the bus driver tells me that the kids are not there. They're at the school. So I call the school, Wright Prep Elementary. I have videos on Facebook showing that I've been around my son. I've been there to the school. I was the one that was being the active parent with the school, and the school was loving that. The teacher loved that. I have it on recording. It's all on Facebook. So the school tells me CPS is on their way to come take my son. I said, no, not today. I said, I'm on my way. So I get a call back while I'm speeding to the school. I'm almost there, like 3 blocks away. The school tells me, if you come onto the property, they said they're going to have you arrested. I said, for what? You're going to have me arrested for what? They said, well, they're saying that there's a protection order. CPS said there's a protection order. I said, what protection order? I said, I've been already proved there's never been a protection order. So what protection order are we talking about now?
And the protection order was nothing more than the mother claiming there was a protection order. And we're going to ride off that to the sunset. And JR6, this 6-year-old.
I'll burn you out every once in a while. We'll let you back in.
So the same day, I have it on Facebook. The same day, I went down to CPS with all my documentation to show them. Nothing. There was no protection order. Here's my custody paperwork. What are y'all doing? I'm the one that's been complaining. I'm the one that's been complaining to you guys about what's going on. Thank you, Mr. Brown. We'll give these to Suzanne Petcherini. Hear this. Supervisor of Child Protective Services, Suzanne Petcherini.
Suzanne Petronini, people, we have her documented on so many people's cases, more than just Josh's here that is going throughout Stark County. Here's the icing on the cake and story of Suzanne Petronini, the executive director of the Stark County Child Protective Services, is married to none other than Dan Petronini, the prosecutor for the Family Court Division for Child Protective Services.
Isn't that?
Okay, so let's take a step back.
The conflict of interest might be on that one.
Let's take a step back. Okay, so I've been having I had major issues, like I said, with the mother, right? So his mom decided to call the police one time on me and tried to tell them that I kidnapped my son, right? So the police came out to the house. I brought out my paperwork. The police did not believe, Canton police did not believe my shared parenting paperwork. They said it was fake. So I called my dad, Gary Lennon. I called my biological dad, Gary Lennon. He got copies of everything. My son's birth certificate, his social, my birth certificate, my real birth certificate. So pretty much my dad comes, brings the paperwork. He tells the cops, you need to release my son. He did not kidnap him. This is during his visitation time. Right now, she abandoned the child with him. So the cops released me after they talked to Suzanne Petcherini on the phone, right? So I subpoenaed Suzanne Petcherini to court, right? The first court hearing, the evidential court hearing, right? Everybody knows what the evidential court hearing is, right? That's in the room. Can everybody give me a yeah?
That's when you give them all your evidence.
Right. So, Justin, do you remember my flash drives that I have?
Yeah. I
made flash drives, right? I made multiple flash drives. Multiple of them, right? Of evidence. It just keeps building up. I keep uploading more onto them. So I give one to magistrate in what's his name? Inferno. Yeah,
I forget. He's one of the lower, like, rookie tier magistrates we have out here. But he went ahead and hauled ass from this and gave it to who?
Judge Magistrate Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So after I subpoenaed Suzanne Petcherini to court, right? I had the police report right there in my hand, right? To have her read it off as a witness, right? So their lawyer gets up, CPS's lawyer gets up and says, Your Honor, she cannot read that. That is he say, she say. I said, how is that he say, she say when both parties are here? I'm a party of that paper. She's a party of that paper.
Because they said so.
The magistrate allows this. He says denied. You're not allowed to read that paper. I looked up. I said, huh? She's not allowed to read this paper? I said, okay. Do you remember the date on that? Do you remember the date on that paper? Do you remember having a conversation with Your Honor, she cannot inform because we don't know what's on that paper and we don't know if it's true or not.
Wait, we don't know if it's true that the person on the stand.
Now you see exactly why I said. But you see, that's exactly why I said right there a few minutes ago that when you record everything, them prosecuting attorneys and them caseworkers can't remember all them damn lies. Nope. It's hard enough for them to remember your kids' names, let alone all the lies they made up about them.
Akron was misspelling Tyreek's name the whole time. I got Akron on misspelling Tyreek's name the whole time, bro. So let's go back to Canton here. So Canton, like I said, so during this court hearing I gave them the flash drive. I told the magistrate, just plug it in. You will see all the evidence to back up video showing that my son was with me, video of his room, video of me taking him to the doctor, video of me taking him on vacations, videos of the teacher talking about us. No, he took it and put it right there next to his computer. He didn't want to plug it in. He didn't want to plug it in at all.
Nope.
Oh, they don't ever want to see the good times. They only want to see what they can use against you so they can fucking keep your kid. Sorry.
Why
So,
the
I'm
hell
thinking
would they
we're
wanna
all just
see
in a
evidence?
chat. I keep forgetting we're on a live. But
Yeah, so
they
I
just
said,
want you to.
why the hell would they want to see evidence and the truth when they sit there and have all the writing on this piece of paper from this malicious ass succubus caseworker? I mean, dude, that's part of God.
So here we go. Here's the biggest nail I thought I could put in the coffin that day on them. I went downstairs, where you can go get your where you got to go pay your fines and costs. You can get your criminal information from there, that what you did, what they charged you with, if there's any protection orders, right? The clerk, went down there and got it, right? A certified copy, right? So their prosecutor tells the magistrate, Inferno right there, says, Your Honor, we don't know if that's real or not.
It's got your damn stamp.
Your Honor, it's stamped. That's stamped right there. Like, you don't clearly. He said, I agree with him. It could be fake.
Have a good night.
Like, so hear what I just said, right? About turning in your paperwork, right? So here we go. Finally, I get, after, like Justin said, I got in trouble for supposedly releasing information. I got in trouble for supposedly releasing information. My first time in front of Judge Rosemary Hall. My first time in front of her, because the girl, Amanda Crocher, got mad at me because I supposedly released her information of what she was stating, her girl's report.
Now,
So
keep in mind, when he released this report, people, there's a specific thing that he released to the public about what happened to his child. Go ahead.
So I bring this up in court.
Yeah,
I say,
so-
Your Honor, I didn't release
gave them what
that
they needed.
information.
You showed them files.
I didn't release that information. I didn't release that. That wasn't me. That was someone else that released that information. I said, but can we talk about my son being molested? We're not here. We're not here for that. We're not here for that. What do you mean we're not here for that? Now you heard me say that.
Well, listen, though, aren't they there for the child's best interest?
Yes, Jay. And hear this, though. Hear this right here. So we go to another court hearing after I beat that little crap right there, right? Because Justin leads the way. So
You don't do motions of contempt out here, bitch. We speak.
don't play with Daddy Bears. Don't play with Daddy Bears. So Justin's he's superhuman. That's the super dad right there. He'll tell you how to beat it. So I beat it. She gives me my little warning. Okay, I hear you. I supposedly hear you, right? So I've been releasing everything now. Everybody needs to understand. I don't give a fuck. I'm releasing everything.
It's illegal. Then you show it, and see, this is the part that this is the mindset we're breaking the mold of. We're seeing in the comments it's illegal to release a report. Said, show me the law that says, because I will show you. God knows how many United States Supreme Court rulings that say otherwise. I can show you the state.
Well, here's one for you too. They're gonna try to say you're putting your child's information out there against your child. Your child can't make that consent. But they're wrong. Oh, they're wrong though, because I'm part of the music industry and I'm part of that entertainment part of the industry. And anytime you have a child perform, who do they ask for consent?
The
The parent.
Every time. And that's the part that we are putting back into the people mindset. We're breaking the mold. We're getting people again off of that burning ass carousel, doing the same repetitive bullshit that doesn't work. And to get you in the mindset to realize exactly how much power you actually have against these people. You have more power than you ever knew.
So they threw me in jail for freedom of speech. Me releasing the whole thing about what happened in the team meeting. This is what they stated in the team meeting. Justin was sitting right there next to me. We're both looking at each other like, did they just say this? They stated word for word, we're looking at your reactions. If someone walks up and punches you in your face out in the streets, we're looking at your reactions. My first comment was, don't I have stand your ground law here in Ohio? If somebody comes punch me in my face, I'm allowed to punch them back, right? Okay. So she said, what did she say after that, Justin? What was the next words?
She says, after that, stating that you're not going to punch them back correctly. I mean, we're going by your reactions to things. So not the actual offenses taking place. Keep in mind, remember, this is what got this man thrown in jail, because during a team meeting, he's not going to openly say, you know what, if somebody came and punched me in my face, I'm going to beat the living hell out of them and curb stomp their ass. I'm going to defend myself. That's the
he got thrown in jail over a hypothetical.
Over a hypothetical, speaking about it. Okay, Amanda Croker and Bree MacArthur and Emily Smith. Since you want to do this ridiculous shit during our team meeting and talk about, you know, if someone punches me in my face, I'm not going to react to it. Well, this is what I would do. If someone punched me in my face, and he put it in parentheses. The man even put it in parentheses.
So the caseworker goes and presses charges on me, right? So supposedly Emily Smith pressed charges too, right? But Emily Smith was on vacation. So how is Emily Smith able to press charges on me? Can we get an answer?
A secret.
Does anybody know that?
A secret indictment.
Secret indictment is basically when they put, like, they hire their little private investigators to come watch everything you do to try to build a case against you so they can put you away for a long time.
Yeah. So next thing I know, there's police six cars deep showing up to my home with AR-15s. I'm telling Justin, like, man, I'm about to get breached, bro. I'm about to get breached. This is the last time you're ever going to see me, bro, because they're about to come up in here and kill me. They're good. They're coming. They're coming, bro.
Don't answer that.
They're coming. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out which part of the house I need to sit in to feel like a defensive motion.
Are you talking about that day of the video I watched where that cop was like, oh, let me go get my AR-15 or my rifle? He said, let me go get my rifle.
And then he said
there wasn't even a.
He also said he wanted to move. Did you see he wanted to move the car for a better shot? He said he wanted to pull his car in the back of my house so he can shoot me in my house.
And now here's
they didn't even know if they didn't have any type of altercation going on. There was no dispute of any type going on. They just showed up to this man's house and started to approach his home with AR-15 style rifles. And there wasn't even a call made to the house.
They blocked off the whole street. They blocked off my whole street. They were trying to figure out, like I said, they were trying to figure out how could they shoot me while I'm in the house.
Well,
they were trying to shoot you like they did that man through the fence.
This is the part. Well, this is the part that a lot of people need to understand about this officer, the specific one that reached into that trunk and grabbed that rifle. His name is Officer Marino. And if people look into the news reports and check out back at a few years ago, he was the one that was responsible for killing a young man by the name of Zachary Fornash and Alan Page. He was shot and killed because he had a pellet gun. And you could hear and see in that video that this officer, you know, it was immediate. There was no chance for him to turn around. It was just, he was gone. And this same officer is the son of a captain, a notorious captain here. But again, it's a good old boys club. And this man's intentions were not in any way positive or good.
So, okay, so the same officer that took the report for CPS to come after me with the police is the same one. I had an incident at Walmart last week. There was a man in the bathroom with my 2 5-year-olds in the woman's bathroom, not a man's bathroom, not the family's bathroom, a woman's bathroom. His excuse was he did not know it was a woman's bathroom. His excuse was that his bladder, he had a bladder he had a bladder problem. And he also lied on video saying that he didn't use the bathroom, but then he told the cops he did use the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, but then the cops said he was only in there for 20-something
20
seconds.
He was only in there 20 seconds. Now, me being a father, being a man, I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie to the public at all and sit there and say I've never accidentally made the mistake of walking into the wrong bathroom. But with that being said, immediately after, I'm turning my ass the hell around and walking the hell out. And it sure as hell never took me no damn 20 seconds or longer to figure out I'm in the wrong goddamn bathroom, people.
Yeah, everybody knows the woman's bathroom and the man's bathroom looks way different.
Thank you. And not only am I walking out, I am walking out with the largest sense of embarrassment anyone could ever have, covering my eyes, apologizing blindly as I'm hauling ass out of there as possible, and kicking myself in the ass for the rest of the day. This man had absolutely no remorse. He didn't apologize, nothing.
He tried to run. The man tried to run like 2 or 3 times, and I even watched him in the video trying to prompt Josh to punch him and hit me. You see them other pedophile pedophile predator hunter videos going around where them guys are like, I'll take 5 or 6 hits, don't call the police on me. You know, that's what that dude was hoping you'd do, is assault him a little bit, and he'd be able to just get away with you not getting the law involved.
No, he was praying to God that for once in their lives, that Canton City Police Department would do their jobs. But what do? They show up and give this piece of shit pervert VIP treatment. They take him into the side room and close.
I mean, yeah, you could look at it that way. I look at it like they showed up. They showed up and they completely ignored the justice of those 2 little 5-year-old little girls is what they did. They completely ignored, you know, the justice of Tyreek and the situations he was in. And now they're doing the same thing to his daughters. I mean, you know, and they knew who he was. And police officers knew who he was.
Well,
they kept calling.
That's the other part, James. They really didn't. They
thought he was you.
They are so assumptions filled.
They thought he was you. They thought he was you, bro.
And called him Justin. And that's
it's on the video. It's on the video.
Like a badge of honor. I love the fact that they associate Canton Hall of Shame, that they don't know who's who.
But hear me out though. They treated that situation the way they did because they knew he was part of the Canton Hall of Shame and they thought he was you.
Set the preemptive bias right when they arrived on scene. Darren, brother, you good?
Yeah, I'm fine, buddy. I'm over here reading this wall right here.
Okay, so during my other cases, right, I've tried to always submit the evidence, right? So the last court hearing, or the hearing before the last court hearing, their lawyer said my evidence could be AI'd.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly legal. You can use the AI to build your case. You could use the AI to put your timeline together.
His video recordings of what took place could be AI generated.
No, you can tell when things are AI generated.
But
You'll have an extra
my
eyebrow.
paperwork-
You'll have an extra pinky. You'll have all kind of weird things happen in those AI videos. I could
But
pick an AI video out because
Rosemary,
something in
even
that video
Rosemary,
doesn't belong.
James,
even Rosemary, the last court hearing, Rosemary even said the same thing because their lawyer said it again. They said it again at that. What was it? The adoption to adopt my son out. The last court hearing.
Yep.
They said it very clearly. That evidence. We're not here. Oh, let me say that first. We're not here to see your evidence. We're not here for that. We're here for this adoption to adopt out.
Yeah, they're there. They're there to adopt your child out while they don't have a legal jurisdictional custody of your children right now, because in your case they've never asked for an extension in custody.
And they never filed. They never filed for new child support either. They never filed for a new child support order either.
Why would they even be asking for custody of our children in the first place? It's because they monetarily make a shit ton of money off our babies being in the system.
That's absolutely right.
It's a minimum.
Like let's
number.
say this is what they want you to believe.
million.
This is what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that, oh, well, you're getting close enough to reunification. We'll go ahead and file for an extension in custody for 6 more months. Okay, that's actually a game they play with you. But when they get caught up in all these other things they're doing, they get caught up with all these other things they're doing. They forget who your kids are. They forget what date they came and removed your children. They forget that there's a timeline they have to follow. And
I even got the paperwork, Jay. I got it. I got the case plan where it stated that I was the better parent, that he should be in my care from Child and Family Services. But the only issue is my reactions.
No, your reactions as a father are spot on. You should be ready to knock a motherfucker's head off if they punched you in the face in the street. And you should be ready to knock a motherfucker's head off if you see them walk out of the bathroom behind your 2 5-year-old girls. Okay, 100%. There's nothing wrong with, but you know what? You held that video right there I watched of you. You held so much restraint back, because I don't think I would have been able to leave without smashing his face into that water fountain.
Facts. And facts. And then there's so many people, and see, this is the part that's concerning that with me that I find very concerning. You would be so baffled, or you might not be actually, with this day and age and the damn chomo sympathizers that we have out here, of how many people were going in trying to make excuses for the damn pervert, a grown-ass man, in a woman's bathroom.
Hold on, you want me to be realistic with you? Out of the 250 or so, or 150 to 200,000 people that may have seen the video, probably 40.
It was a very
everybody else wanted to smash the motherfucker.
And then a lot of people were trying to tell me too, you're not a dad because you didn't beat the dude up. You're not.
You didn't do that in front of
custody of his 2 little girls. They JR6 them in the system and gladly throw him in jail and do the exact same thing that they would have if he didn't beat his ass, which was, ladies and gentlemen, the Canton City Police Department, with their chomo sympathizing asses, went ahead and escorted this pervert to his car, VIP style, and told him to have a nice day.
And
but
everybody,
you know what, though, Josh doing it like he did. He didn't have to show his daughters. His daughters didn't have to witness him acting like that, fucking that dude up. And to be honest with you, if anything, he taught his daughters a good lesson right there, to be able to hold some kind of restraint, because like if had he beat that dude up in front of his daughters, they'd use that against him.
See, the whole idea.
I told the girls now, if they ever catch a man in the bathroom, to kick him right in his stuff, punch him in his stuff.
Yeah, but if they're already far enough away from him to get out the door, they need to just get out the door.
If I
No,
hear,
what
"Ow,
we made-
what the hell?" If I hear, "Ow, what the hell?" Oh, trust to believe I'm running in that bathroom and there ain't no stopping
Oh
me
yeah,
then.
your kids scream. Yeah, absolutely. And
Now,
for
with
all
that
them
being
ones that say,
said,
"Why
too,
was your kid in there?"
James, with
You
this
know,
being said, brother, we need to also put the message out there. And if anyone's listening, Mama Bears, these are myself. I'm a single father of 4 children. My youngest daughter is 3 years old. Josh has young daughters, both of them twins, 5 years of age. We cannot stress this enough as single fathers how hard it is out here when we go out into the public of, the minimum necessities and, essentials to be provided for us to protect our children, stripped away from us by every level and means necessary. So we, as single fathers, are asking mama bears to please step up and help us papa bears when it comes to situations like that. When we're trying to make sure our little girls can use a public bathroom in safety and security, we're asking y'all to step up for us single fathers to keep an eye on our children to make sure, like we would, that nothing would happen to them. We will send a
even
call out
even
to
the
help.
fathers that aren't single fathers, they might have their kid at Walmart. They might have their daughter at a Walmart.
Yes,
I don't
by
know too many.
themselves.
I don't know too many people that are going to walk in the woman's bathroom with their
No.
child. They'll stand outside the door and watch it like a hawk, but they're not going to walk in there. And I'll be goddamned if I'm going to take my daughter into some nasty ass dude's
Men's
bathroom.
No, I won't take
And
mine.
on top of that, when I was standing there, I never seen that man walk past me. So he was already in that bathroom.
Right. So them cops lied, straight up lied. There's no way you as a father was going to let a man walk in that bathroom knowing your daughters are in there.
I stopped him. I said, "Sir, you work here?" I said, "Are you cleaning the bathrooms or something? Is there something wrong with the bathroom?" He said, "No, I don't work here. I was just using the bathroom."
I was
Like-
just using the bathroom, but then I didn't wash my hands. I didn't use the facilities. Then when the police show up, all of a sudden, all I did was use the facilities and wash my hand. I have a bladder condition.
But I think your biggest piece of evidence in that video was that cop saying he was only in there 20 seconds
20
because
seconds.
later in the video he contradicted his own statement when he said that he was in there and he used the bathroom and he washed his hands. How do you use the bathroom and wash your hands if you were only in that bathroom on camera for 20 seconds?
My
and then
foundational argument.
on top of that, let's not talk about what my daughters told the police. My daughters told the police
Yeah,
that,
go ahead.
yes,
Tell the people what that cop told you about his son.
I said, "Come here." I told my daughter to come here. Annalyn, I believe that was Annalyn in there, or no, Haven. It was Haven.
Hey,
Try
Haven
not
told
to
the
use your
police-
kids' names if you can help it, bro. That
Okay.
is.
Well, my daughter told the police, and the police told me word for word that his son could seen a T-Rex or a dinosaur or something like that, some type of old ass animal, and it could be a lie, So you're telling me my
I can't
5-year-old?
The cop said like this. The cop said like this. He said, if I told my son that I seen a T-Rex over there, he'd agree with me. And kids lie about stuff like that.
Yeah, my
And that was a very bad thing for a cop to say to him because, like, for real, like, my kids are smart enough to be like, no, I don't see a damn T-Rex. What are you talking about? I don't even know how that cop would say that. If you got a couple girls in the bathroom.
I got a way to alleviate all of this. The foundational principle and argument is of what in the hell is a grown-ass man doing in a woman's bathroom for that long, period. 20 seconds? I'm sorry, that's entirely too fucking long. Turn your ass around and get the hell out of a woman's bathroom, you fucking pervert. And I
Right.
can promise you this. After that video was made, to anybody that has anything as far as the naysayers and the trolls out there that said what happened with that was ineffective, I can promise you that Neanderthal will never again a day in his life make that fucking mistake to walk into the wrong bathroom. He is not only going to clarify and make damn well sure that he don't see the dress symbol in the pants instead, that he is going to, he will never make that mistake again. Never.
Well, listen, I got a buddy out here that lives out here in Freeport where I live. I live in Freeport, Ohio. I live in a little small town. There's only like 300 people out here. But there's a little old man lives out here. It's about 75 years old. That's had a bladder problem since he was a small teen, like a young teenager. And he told me he has never in his life went into the wrong bathroom because he had a medical emergency. And in fact, he said to me, he said, well, if you do happen to go in the wrong bathroom, isn't the men's bathroom right next to the woman's bathroom? I mean, you just got to walk out if you're in the wrong bathroom, all you got to do is turn around, walk across the hall right in the other bathroom.
That's it. And then we got someone asked, can you get the officer's body camera footage? Yes, we can. We have records requests put in actually currently right now for that information.
To be honest with you, that's almost useless because you got all the footage. The only footage you're going to get that you don't have is what they talked about, hopefully, and behind that room.
That behind closed doors, and that's what we honestly really do want. And the private conversations. We even took it a step further to ask for the cruiser cams. We want to hear the dialogue on the way there of them already setting their preemptive bias, making their smart-ass condescending remarks about who it is they're about to engage. And we know how they are. And we want to hear every word said. And again, hold them accountable. Why in the hell did you escort this guy to his car and tell him have a nice day? And why in the hell did he get to write out the report? Why in the hell was he taken into a side room? And why in the hell would y'all make excuses for this shit? Anyone? Because me?
Well, they were trying to.
Right
they were trying to discredit.
Weird.
They were trying to discredit your platform.
You're weird.
I've been trying to press charges also on the caseworkers, on the judges, magistrate, Gail. Prosecutor told me when I sent him the ORCs for kidnapping, for breaking my shared custody, for hiding the facts that Tyreek was molested in their care, he said he finds no fault in what they did.
None. It's okay to hide the gross sexual imposition of a 6-year-old little boy for months from his parents.
So
I have it.
So is that what you have in the appellate court right now?
Yes. On the 27th, I'll be on Stark County's appeals of court.
Okay.
What time is that hearing, Josh? Because this is another court
call. No, they didn't give me a specific time yet. Because I'm waiting on that punk lawyer. Because
they're screwing you. If they have a date, they have a time. Don't let them do that to you, Josh. I'm telling you, if they have a date, they have a time.
Ass, and this is the thing about this bullshit public pretender lawyer of representation that they're serving him with. This man has been on the phone with his lawyer. Go ahead and call the lawyer's name, the lawyer out real quick.
Dang it, what's his name? Dixon.
Well, he's been on the phone every single day, leaving message after message after message after message. He's had one phone conversation with them to which we told him that plain and simple, we expect you to represent this man, to defend.
The thing that we all deal with, though, because in my case, in the 14 months, I spoke to my attorney outside of that courtroom maybe 4 times, twice on the phone, once after court, and once before court, and never did I get more than a 20-minute conversation with the man.
And we've already made an ultimatum that if he don't answer that phone, the only argument that's going to be being heard at this next hearing on the 27th of April is them offering a continuance and nothing more. There will be no arguments being heard, considering you haven't even talked to this man in order to get up a liable defense.
Right. Well, no, there shouldn't be a continuance. What it should turn into is, and Josh, you can do this right before court. You could go in right before you go into court, and like right before you go, a half an hour before you go into court, and file a motion firing your lawyer, and then put in a motion for a continuance.
Exactly. And
you do it yourself. You do it yourself.
Pro se is the way to go.
I promise, bro. The only reason I kept my public defender throughout this entire mess was so that my wife could file all the motions pro se, and I could show that he filed 0 motions for me in my case. He did 0 telephone. Dude, I got probably 30 or 40 recorded.
Hold on, brother. James, you're preaching to the choir, though. I promise you. This is nothing but a full-fledged audit on this system. And what he's doing is that exactly that. The day of, the motions will be filed to say kicked fucking.
Yep, absolutely. Because that lawyer ain't going to file the motions you need him to file, man.
Pro se, exactly. We see in the comment section, pro se is the only way.
And I'll help you. I'll help you put your motions together. Nobody's allowed to put your motions together for you unless they're a licensed law professional, if you know what I'm saying. So I'll help you to understand what to do, but like you'll have to put it together in your own words. You can't let the AI, if you do let the AI do it, you got to humanize it so that they don't know you let the AI do it. I'll give you a couple of my secrets. I've let the AI write all my motions. I just go in and humanize them so it don't sound like a robot wrote the motherfucker.
And again, that chronological timeline is a huge factor that comes into play when it comes to being able to scrutinize and get accountability from these people when you go against them. I personally, when I had my case for my little girl being a victim of paternity fraud, I was facing circumstances that are unprecedented, that I was told by every lawyer across the entire state that there's no way in hell I'd be able to accomplish obtaining custody rights to my daughter, considering that she biologically, after 22 months of raising this little girl, my children, her siblings calling her their little sister, me calling her my daughter. And to this day, that will always be my little girl. Then the blood test don't mean a damn to me, period. I don't give a shit what a DNA test said. That was my daughter. I fought like hell pro se. And I was able to do
that's all backwards.
That was unprecedented. I was able to keep my daughter home and keep my daughter out of a system that wanted her so bad. And I did it against not one, but two different lawyers. I did it against the guardian. I did it against the magistrate. I did it against the judge in the Court of Appeals. I did it against the motions of contempt. I did it against the child support court, which I got it dropped, and not only that, reversed. And I did it all pro se because not a damn lawyer in the world was going to help us, and they won't. As you see that right there, that. No cash for kids. No kids for cash, excuse me.
No kids for cash. No kids for profit. These kids are not these caseworkers in these judges' retirement plans.
Today,
my main battle during this case is just showing them the truth that they had no reason to have my son. No reason at all to have my son.
He's gonna
no, they don't. And the thing is like you should have been the very first option. Okay, they should have. And if there was any questioning or whatever, then it should have went to like your next of kin, whoever that would be. You got any cousins? You got any family or whatever? It shouldn't have went straight to foster care, But I believe that you should have got the first option because, like, from what I've noticed about you is you aren't what they say you are at all. None of us are. They create us, like they made me very combative. They made me the worst enemy they ever seen. They went in and told that judge straight up that it's a complete battle every time I talk to Mr. Markland and blah, blah, blah. And I told that judge straight up, you're right, it is a complete battle because they're holding my kids over my head. How do you expect me to feel?
Now, see, I'm seeing people in the comments real quick because I want to read up on some of the people that are comments. The system needs to be abolished. That's exactly what we're talking about. The complete abolishment of the family court system. Not another law, not another act, not another bill, because our legislators and our people and powers that be aren't going to follow the shit. The judges aren't going to follow the law. They don't follow what it is supposed to be, the foundational freedoms that we have. And I say rights, freedoms, massive difference, people. On the First Amendment, those are your freedoms. Not your rights.
Anything else is your rights. That Second Amendment, nope, those are all your rights. That First Amendment, Those are your freedoms, your God-given rights that nobody can take away.
Nobody can legislate against it. Nobody can alter it. Nobody can sit there and adjust it, make it flip the narrative, anything. Those are your foundational principles that you all need to work with. I also see people talking about Robert Garza and Mark Ludwig. Now, these are two main principal names that you'll hear a lot out here. I personally will say, though, I've reached out to Robert Garza. I haven't heard a word back. I have personally reached out to Mark Ludwig. I haven't heard a word back. I personally hosted Jessica Saxton and Tanawal Downing while they were here in Ohio and provided them safety and security while they were in one of the most corrupt counties in the state. And haven't heard back. I personally stood by the side of Connie Regula as she argued her cases in the Sixth Circuit against the qualified immunity. We haven't heard back. I have personally dealt with the likes of Francesca back in October when they were having their congressional hearing. I didn't hear back, and it was I get a link for a pay-to-play scheme. And people, these names that are out there, yes, they are, a lot of them leading the movement. A lot of them are doing things. But if you are looking to them and depending on them,
they're leading their own movement.
To help you with your case personally, to help you with your movement, to help you with enlightenment in your local area. If you are not there locally where they're at, don't put those eggs in that basket.
They're not even going to help those people because that's not what they're doing. What they're trying to do is fight the bigger demon, like Connie, for instance, is fighting qualified immunity. That helps every one of us without her having to sit here and pick and choose which person she's going to advocate for. Because right now, technically, she doesn't have the time. She's got people that she has running around the country doing things on her behalf because she doesn't have the time to advocate for her own cases.
And that's the same deal with people like Mark Ludwig. That's the same deal with people like Robert Garza pushing the 50-50 parenting aspect. These people are all the way up at the federal level. They are going to state by state. They're talking to Congress, Senates, state legislatures, and they're actually putting in bills and motions in to be passed. Now, what you personally can do as advocates locally, you got to be realistic in this fight. And this is the main thing. We're, again, kicking people off of that burning ass carousel so you're not making the same stupid ass mistakes. We want you to locally build your village because that's what you're most effective at. Confront your local village, confront your local councils, your
your First Amendment.
You sit there and audit these
and policy doesn't trump law.
Amen to that. You audit
policies are rules. And if you think about it, we don't have rule enforcement. We have law enforcement.
We follow the law, not a policy, period. That's all there is.
Right. We're running off of policy. Our police believe in policy instead of law.
Guys, getting off topic here because, again, the idea is the building a village. You're not going to do this shit by yourselves. I'm going to tell you all that. If you think you're going to take this system on by your damn self, you're out of your fucking mind. Don't even try it. Build a village. Find others like-minded. Find others that are going through the same struggles or have in your local area. Because, again, you got to be realistic in this fight. You're not going to be able to take your ass to Washington, D.C., waving your little fucking sign and think that you're actually going to make some sort of difference when you have people that have put their blood, sweat, and tears in this shit for 30 plus years, that have been there, done that, got the fucking t-shirt and are walking out with the margarita with the ice cubes in the son of a bitch. Guys, we are going to do what we need to do on our end. Okay. We need to locally build our village and expand out that way. Spiderweb it, turn it into a virus, empower and teach the knowledge that is to be used, that was successful for others to be gained, and pass it on to everybody else. And again, vice versa, teaching others how to build their village, teaching others how to sit there and communicate, how to sit there and record, how to document. what motions to file, which one's not, what works, what doesn't. Again, get off the.
Listen, do you see this? People
Don't
keep
just
talking
build your
about
village with your cases either. Go out and meet
this.
these people. Go out and become friends with these people. Me, Josh, and Justin here, we all became friends. We've all camped and hung out together. We all go play in the woods together and have a lot of fun together. We don't just sit here and talk about our cases. That's not just what, build the village enough to where you guys become a family.
And Jay, right now, do you guys see what somebody just said? They're talking about U.S. codes in family court. I need you guys to understand in
U.S.
family
code
court.
1983 civil action. Yeah, you got, and let's talk
Listen,
about that just a little
hold
bit,
on,
because you got to have some
hold on,
serious
hold
grounds.
on, let me
You
finish
better
what
have
I'm saying.
recorded.
Hold on, wait till I gotta finish what I gotta say. You could take those U.S. codes, because this is what they're gonna do with it. Wipe their ass with it.
Amen.
Sorry
Yeah.
for my language.
And the only way you're
But that's
ever
what
going to
they're
get
gonna do with
anywhere
it.
with a civil 42 U.S. 1983 lawsuit is if by chance the very first day they got involved in your life, you started to record.
Exactly.
And you know what? You can't just send your recordings into a judge. They ain't going to listen to none of it. They're going to rule on it without even listening to it. You need to go viral with these recordings. You need to get the attention of all the masses with these recordings and all your evidence. You can't just take that evidence and dump it in a court system. They're going to shove it under their table and step on it.
But the
use
point
it to
is,
wipe
too,
their
also, again, burning carousel there again. Everybody knows 18 USC 241, 242, deprivation of rights. Everybody knows if you look into the jurisdictional precincts as far as who's responsible for taking up these charges, as far as our marshals, our sheriff's department under USC 18245, section 5C, tells you who has the jurisdictional precincts to sit there and take those charges. They won't do it. And this is another aspect. You're going to follow your Title 18s, people. Again, we're putting the truth bombs out there. We're shoving red matrix, horse tranquilizer size truth pills down everybody's throats all of 2026. No filter. You file your Title 18. How many years does that take to finally go through before they finally do decide to make a decision, possibly in your favor? If
minimum of 5 years.
And sometimes these things go 10, 15, 20 fucking years. I'm hearing some of these lawsuits going on. And then at the end, you know what they do? They write a fucking check and continue on as business as usual. Guess who paid for it? We the people did. Because it ain't coming out of theirs. Then no one go to jail. There was no criminal charges still. And these people in that decade did how many people dirty? How many children were killed in that process? How many children were trafficked, abused, raped, molested? How many souls
every one of them
destroyed in that
It's
10-year
called that hush money. It's called the hush money. It's called the hush money.
Bingo.
Yeah.
We're not.
And then let's not talk about the hush money they give your children while they're in foster care, buying them all these fancy things, taking them all to these fancy places, trying to make your kids think the life in foster care is way better than what it is with the parent. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, best thing you can do is tell your kids that if they ever get adopted out, that all of that stuff stops, because you think your adoptive parent's going to take you to the Great Wolf Lodge? I doubt it. Do you think they're going to take you roller skating every week? I doubt it. Do you think they're going to take you to all these fun activities, these little, like the Journey Home or the NIAP centers or any of these other foster children facilities, set up all these events to make these kids love foster care? They want your kids to say they like it there so that they have a reason to keep your kids there.
My son always thought, this is what he asked me when his mom abandoned him with me. He thought I was rich. He thought I was rich. He thought,
you know, if we were gonna just one more thing to add to that, if we were gonna sit there and buy these children all these things just to get them to like us, wouldn't that be considered grooming?
That is last time I checked. And I'm reading the comments here, guys, too. I want to keep out. The First Amendment is your fundamental rights. No, I will say this again. The First Amendment are your fundamental freedoms. And there is a drastic difference in these legal words that we're using.
Yes, and it's not just the freedom of speech. I see so many people saying, "Oh, you're just talking about the freedom of speech." No, that's the freedom to have a family and not be interfered with by your government. It's all codified within your First Amendment, along with a lot of other things.
We're not negotiating on this anymore with the system. This is where we make a difference. We are not negotiating with fucking terrorists, because that's exactly what they are, domestic terrorists. And yes, we will use these very abrasive, oh my God, words when we're describing.
And they put the Second Amendment right after the First Amendment for a reason, because when they start taking your God-given freedoms away from you, that's when the Second Amendment should come into play. Do these people not remember what this country did over a 2% tax on tea?
Yep. And now keep in mind too, also, people, we're here to enlighten and empower with knowledge. So with your First Amendment, there are 5 principal freedoms that come with that. Not 1, 5. There are 5 principal fundamental freedoms that come with the First Amendment. Your right of freedom of speech. We all know this one. Okay. But also, as another one, is your right of freedom of press, meaning each and every single one of you out there is an independent journalist. You have a right under that to be able to document, record, report, and
it don't matter if you're a 1-party consent state or a 2-party consent state. When it comes to your government officials, you can record them against their consent all you want, because they signed they swore an oath to protect our Constitution of the United States. And in our Constitution, it says that we have a right to record them and document them in their duties.
Now, see, and this is the other part. We have our freedom of speech. We have our freedom of our press. We have freedom of religion, to be able to pray to whatever God you want to. Doesn't matter who it is. You have your freedom of protest, to be able to speak out without having to worry about the crucifixion of arrest or charges or getting the hell beat out of you for speaking and saying something that doesn't go with the societal norms or might just go against their bullshit narrative. And the final one is the one that a lot of people have forgotten about: the right to redress grievance.
Yes.
It is the right to redress your grievance with your government.
No, it's your
and hold them accountable.
It's your freedom. That's a
it's
freedom.
Your freedom to do such. It is
and
your
one more. Hold on. The 14th Amendment, it states very clearly your parental rights to your child, right? The 14th Amendment states very clearly. So the person that stated that your First Amendment, you were wrong. It's your 14th Amendment.
It's also in your still in your First Amendment too.
No, they're saying that's the fundamental. It's not. And again, the fundamental foundation.
That's what it states in the 14th, though. It states the fundamental rights.
Listen, what we're saying, fundamental.
Hold on, I want to hear what Josh had to say, because he might be right.
14th.
The 14th stated fundamental rights, just like your parental rights, also in that. So
yes, there are parental rights in your 14th Amendment. That has to do with searches and seizures and taken away from you and your family, and absolutely 100%.
But
I believe Section B was the
rights. This is the part I'm trying to clarify, that I need you and everyone else out here to listen and understand the drastic difference between the two. This is not rights we're talking about. Rights.
Well, the 14th, it's a right. The first is a freedom.
Hold on. Rights can be legislated against. Rights can be taken away. Rights can sit there and be determined by somebody else to be null and void. Your freedoms cannot.
Right.
The First Amendment is the most crucial and powerful one that we have above and most. The 14th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, to shut the fuck up and not incriminate ourselves. The 4th Amendment that prevents these people from taking our property from us or searching us against our will without due process or warrants.
Yep. See that's also part. If you read deep enough into the 14th, like the 14th and the 4th and the first, they all kind of bounce around the same topics if you really look into it, and it's. they all kind of protect each other if you really read into it a little bit and understand it.
The courts still go off
that's
of
all they
maritime
violate
law.
is that's all they're going to violate in CPS is your first, your fourth, maybe your fifth, and your 14th.
Yep.
And then when you
And
go into
also-
child support, they start violating other weird ones like your 13th, involuntary servitudes and things like that. But the whole thing is like start reading your constitutions. Really put it into perspective, because we have like 100% the right to record these people at every step of the stages of their duties. Don't matter what state you're in. If they're a government official and they swore an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution of the United States, then they are susceptible to be recorded. And they should know that.
Something in the comment section here. Obsidian Supreme here has been really on the again, the laws and everything else. And again, our focus is that why are we going to the mob and asking them to rule against the mob? And why are we going to the abusers, asking them to stop abusing us and to hold the other abusers responsible for their actions? It's not going to work. Again, us making new laws is not going to work. Us passing new bills is not going to work. They're not going to follow.
Here's what you do is you file your grievances and you file your appeals, even though they're going to deny them, you file them anyway so that you have the paper trail. And that's all you're making is a...
Hold on, because what I want to read these comments too is that the people that I was just listening is talking about how they're each doing their own thing. Yes, they're all doing their own thing, but some of these people are doing their own thing and misleading people out here. Some of these people out here doing their own thing are not giving the correct information to people to follow and be able to listen to. Some of these people out here, again, foundationally don't have anything really to offer themselves other than...
Justin, he keeps saying you need to enforce these laws into court. Sir, we've tried to do that multiple times. Do you not hear what
we
we're
get
saying?
silenced? I've been threatened to be held in contempt for trying to tell the judge about the abuse that happened to my children. I was told that if I brought it up again, they would hold me in contempt.
Okay, but brother, this is what I'm reading here now. It's
Me
when the
too.
family court doesn't give a F about that you don't know shit about 18 USC 242, 241. No, the family court doesn't give a shit about any law.
What are you talking about? Deprivation of rights and deprivation of rights under the color of law? I mean, how do we not know that? We know exactly all about that. But the minute you bring it up in a courtroom, you're looked at like you're a lunatic, or you're looked at like you're delusional because, oh, we're the courts. We can't do no wrong. You're wrong. You're just acting out because you don't like what's happening in your case. That's what they do to you. They silence you. Is what they do.
Hold on, bro. You're all going to lose your kids if you keep fucking around. I keep giving you all the way out. And you keep rejecting me.
Okay, time out. Listen, this guy keeps talking about federal USC Title 18. Okay, brother, look, I'm not going to be losing my kids, number one. I have all my children home, and again, I've set precedences for other fathers and everybody else.
He's talking about me, Justin.
Well, with you and
they might not know anything about tort claims. And you know what? And unless they're willing to sit here and talk about some torts, which puts a hold on them from taking your children from you because right now we all got them by the balls, and they know we got them by the balls, and we put a tort claim out, which means if they take our children in retaliation, that they could be held at high treasonous costs. And you know what? We do have
somebody came in here and it said exactly it. No jury trial, too bad, no justice in the juvenile courts. And that is the bottom line truth.
Juvenile court makes their own law. Juvenile court does not even go by law. So how do you get law enforced in there if they don't even go by law?
They don't. They go by assumptions.
They go by
lies. Okay? They go by assumptions. Bullshit. They go by whatever the hell they want to and whatever mood that magistrate or judge might be in that day. Did you know in the bar exam, okay, people, here, let's put it how legitimate the family courts is when it comes to your laws. There's not even a section in the bar exam for the family courts. The only thing that's in the bar exam for the family courts is the multi-state bar exam, and it's one essay question. One. There's nothing in the bar exam involving the family courts. So with that being said, that shows you how illegitimate practice of law is in a family court. There is none. It's all administrative codes and policies.
And most of the magistrates and judges, they don't even practice family. They just get thrown into there.
Your magistrate is 90%, 99% chance. Your magistrate is a prosecuting attorney in another county neighboring your county.
Bingo. Yeah. And same with your Ombudsman group. I mean, because again, you got the bar or the Judiciary Ethics Committee for the judges, but for family court, you go to
let me ask you guys a question. What do you think happens when you go tell the
hold on? Just like we found out that my judge Rosemary is being financed by who? Justin?
None other than the Abigail Wexner Foundation and Les Wexner. And if anybody wants
there
to
you go
up on that, people, these judges are appointed and funded by Chomos directly connected to the Epstein
Well,
Island.
think about it like this. The American Safe Families Act was put into play by Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. And you know what they were doing over there on Epstein's Island. So why did they make it so much easier for the children to get adopted out? Why did they put such an incentive to adopt out the children? And then none of the parents know where these children go when they get adopted out. So like they say, oh, well, they go to a foster home in another state somewhere, but you never see that child again. All the way through the rest of your life, you'll never see that child again. So where did that child really go? There's no paper trail once you lose custody and they go get adopted out.
And it wasn't just ASFA that got put into play back in 1997. There were several other pieces of legislation that got put into play from 1993, which was the Oprah bill, which first pushed that into play for ASFA to be pushed into 1997. Then in 1999, you had the Foster Care Independent Act, which incentivized the foster care system and commercialized it. Then after that, you had the Family Health Act of 2000, to which, hey, we've gotten a way to come into your home and steal all of your kids. We got a way to sit there and put them into these places that we make money off of them for being there. Now we got to hide all the data and stats and statistics for it and control the narrative of the truth. So that way people don't know how much fucking money we're making, which on the low end, a year, nationally, on the low end is a $34 billion a year profit margin on our children, people. 34 billion. That's with a B. And that's on the low end.
Just for this guy here that's talking about how how they're going to take our kids and we keep fucking around, they're going to take our kids and stuff like that. You know, another thing I wanted to say there, you know how I brought my kids home? I had to make their entire agency. I had to make the entire court system, the clerk's office. I filed a bill in an HR 8866 that wasn't even filed into law yet. But guess what? That dumb secretary in the clerk office going ahead and filed it into my case anyway, like the dumbest retard you could ever imagine. And you know what? They filed that into my case, and it literally tied my advocate from New Jersey into my case.
Yep.
It put her name on a file that was in my case. Now they had no choice but she's part of my case now. And you know what I did? I made the judge look incompetent. I made the agency look incompetent. I made the damn prosecuting attorney smack his head off the table. They were lost.
Another state statute that they're following off of, than a bill that wasn't even put into play yet, and they wrote off of it.
Right. So you guys want to know how I got my kids back? I made the court systems look like they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
They look like
because they did.
It didn't have anything to do with proving whether or not my children were well taken care of or could be well taken care of or safe. It had nothing to do with that because, like, my case plan was finished a year before they returned my children to me. And the only reason they returned my children is because I made them look so incompetent that they were embarrassed to pull me in the courtroom any longer.
Accountability and transparency is what they're absolutely.
You people want to know how to get your kids back. You want to know how to get your kids home, get your grandbabies home. You need to go pro se. You need to start making that judge look like a complete moron because that's the last thing they want to do.
I asked the judge for her bond. Rosemary, she got quiet as shit. She looked at me like she couldn't believe I knew that. She couldn't
believe you had the audacity to ask even.
And guess what I did? Guess what else I did? They were sitting there calling me a bully, right? In court. They were like, he's bullying. Their lawyers got up and said, I'm being a bully in court. Then I'm bullying.
But they're not being a bully. They're not bullying you.
Right.
Bullying your kids, you know?
They're not holding your kids. They're not holding your kids over your head.
The last thing I did, Jay, and everybody in the room, Justin, you know I carry that briefcase around, right? That's my personal little briefcase, right? That's what I take it to court, right? I got a briefcase, Jay. So it holds everything in there. I packed everything up nicely in my briefcase, looked at the judge, and I called her. I said, this courtroom is a kangaroo court.
And walked out of that shit and said, no, we'll see you next time. Because people
here's one for you too. You gotta make them look stupid. Like in my child support court, I'm filing an appeal on child support right now because they're trying to hit me. My kids are home. My case is closed, and they're trying to say I owe them $14,000 in arrears, and they didn't have my kids 14. They have my kids for 14 months. How do I owe $1,000 a month in child support?
Thank you.
Okay.
That's what they're trying to do to me right now.
So then,
Jay.
at the end of the day, at the end of that court hearing, I asked that judge. That judge asked me if I had any more questions. I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. I want to know. I said, and I'm not trying to be funny about how I'm going to say this to this court right now. I said, but from day one, the day they took my children, my adjudication hearing, the very first hearing I went to, it's always been in the best interest. This is in the best interest of these children. Everything's always been in the best interest of these children. You got air in the best interest of these children. I said, how is taking $14,000 from my kids' plates off their tables in their best interest? And that judge got his face all beat red and slammed his hammer down and said, court adjourned.
Amen. Now, this is what we're talking about. Is we know about Title 18 USC 241, 242. And the deal is that in order to bring up Title 18, 241, 242, which is a federal mandate and a federal statute, you need to also have the state statute that goes with it. This state constitutional.
Here in Ohio, it's called your ORCs.
We got ORCs and OACs here in the state of Ohio. Ohio Administrative Code, Ohio Revised Code that you would need to sit there and use in your state constitution to use in order to bring up the violations for Title 18, 241, 242. But the problem is that people, this is what we mean, that we're kicking people off of this burning carousel. Why are you going to do that and bring up, again, go through that shit with the lawsuit, 5-10 years down the road, you get cut a check, they're continuing on as business as usual. No, the idea and goal is, again, building the village. I can't stress this enough when I say building a village. When I say building a village, how do y'all spell love to your children?
You don't spell. You spell it to them with everything you got to give from your heart and your soul.
You spell love to your children. TIME.
Absolutely, I get that. I respect that 100%.
Your amount of time that you invest in your children, and I don't mean by physically that you're present in their lives. I'm talking about what you invest into their future, what you invest into them breaking the cycles that you've had, the struggles that you've had to go through, your investment of your time as far as teaching them, showing them, leading by example, your time as far as making sure that the world and the village that they're being raised in is kosher and is safe for them to go out into, and that they don't have those worries that is all throughout the nation right now that we have to worry about. What I mean by is the time of investing into your community and volunteering locally where you're at. for any places like churches, Salvation Armies, Red Cross, or anything else along those lines, homelessness shelters, anything else that would sit there and not perpetuate this godforsaken cycle that we're all used to.
Right. Get your children involved in that too, to where they're also participating and helping with the community, because that's our future. You know, when I was a child growing up, I remember my dad telling me some stuff before he passed away about how he feels bad for our society because he has no clue what this retarded generation that we grew up with is going to do when they get all these seats in all these political places. You know, people don't respect anything anymore. Back in the day, they did a little better, but they still did it wrong. And but it's only getting worse is what I'm trying to say. And then if you look at this generation now, all they do is sit around, play on video games. They don't know a damn thing about what this world really is out here. And those are going to be the ones sitting in all these politician seats eventually. And what?
God, no.
That's what I'm saying. So we all as a society, as a village that you talk about, we need to be teaching these kids better standards. We need to be getting them on the ball with understanding that that life isn't a video game.
Yeah, we're teaching kids that actually, again, the whole goal and prerogative in what it is that we are doing on a full scale national offensive is to make damn well sure when it comes time for these children to have to pick up that sword and that armor and that shield, which they are going to have to do, we are going to have to release our babies into this godforsaken world that it is right now currently. The whole goal and idea and prerogative is to make damn well sure that when they go into that fight, that number one, that they're fully prepared for it, and number two, that the odds are a hell of a lot more in their favor than they were in ours. Period.
Right.
That should be the goal. Legacy. The legacy that we're leaving behind is that of those of pioneers in this shit, like Nancy Schaefer, like we were talking about earlier. People that were martyred for the cause, that we will continue on her name and continue on her legacy and be standing 10 toes deep on the front line for these kids, these families. Guys, I appreciate everybody coming on tonight. Josh, thank you for coming on tonight, telling your story. James, brother, another Papa Bear out here. Pissed off Papa Bears galore, man. We're going to be bringing them forward all across the nation. We're reaching out to everybody out here. If you want to get involved, if you want to get involved with hashtag stand up, if you want to light fires where you're at locally and get some fires under your asses, get up, get involved, get proactive, because sitting idle, us typing on keyboards, us protesting, us going to city councils, that's all fine and dandy, but unless we got action going behind it to make sure that the accountability and transparency is there, nothing's going to get done. We need to unite as one, and the masses need to stand up.
Yeah, and I wanted to say go ahead, Josh. I want to say something when you're done now.
And follow hashtag Tyreek, because part-time I be doing audits, showing the world that the police follows policies, not laws, that our government officials do not actually help us as our prosecutors should, as Jason Reese should. He does not believe in helping us at all. So I'm one of the main people out here trying to show everybody the truth. So just be protected if you do what you got to do, but make sure you stay live and record everything.
Amen.
So.
And there was a couple people in the comment section today that we may have kind of in a way upset, and it's okay. We're here for dialogue. We're not here to argue and try to have a I'm bigger than you or better than you contest here. What we're just trying to say is that we've been there, we've done that, we've tried. There's many people that are in our constituents have tried the things that you guys are all talking about. None of them have succeeded in any of it because like we say, they're part of the good old boy system. There isn't anything we're going to be able to do except just keep filing it in and shoving the paperwork down their throats. And when it comes down to it, though, you can't just be like, oh well, you guys are going to get your kids taken away because you won't shut up and stuff like that. You can't be like that, because I'm going to tell you right now, the fear is what they want. They want you to be afraid. They
Bingo.
want you to be scared. But let me tell you something I learned. I'm 41 years old. I learned this a long time ago. I was scared when I first jumped on stage to play in front of the first crowd I ever jumped on stage and played in front of, 1,000 people. It was scary. It was the first show I ever played in my life. I jumped into a project, and I'm going to tell you, some of the greatest fruits that you're ever going to eat in your life are going to be placed right on the other side of whatever it is that you're afraid to do.
Yep. You got to stand up, people. And also, real quick, we have gone past our time slot here. Hopefully, Darren don't beat us up over this shit.
That's all right.
12:37. I want to say happy birthday here to Josh Brown.
Yep. Happy birthday, Josh.
That pretty far right there. Turning 37 today, right? That correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 37.
So everybody out there, y'all want to wish Josh Brown a happy birthday, man. We'll send him all the birthday love out there, guys. I appreciate everyone coming on, staying on late tonight, having a dialogue. Those of y'all, again, in the comment section, we're not yelling at you. We're not sitting there. Again, the whole idea is to have a dialogue, to have disagreement. That's the whole idea. That's how we progress up in this thing. And we're not here for the advocacy Olympics, guys. We're not trying to be the best victim. We're not trying to sit there and single-handedly think that we're going to take this whole fucking system down. It's not going to happen. What we're doing, again, is stopping people from making the same mistakes over and over and over again, depending on a system that doesn't give a shit about you. We're kicking everyone off the flaming carousel, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on. Everybody out there, follow us out here at Canton Hall of Shame. Follow Dan and Tip the Punisher, Darren and Tip the Punisher with Fight CPS. Get in touch with your local advocates in your local area. Find out what you can do to, again, hashtag stand up. And everybody, good night to y'all. And Josh, fucking happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Oh, happy birthday, Josh.
Thank
and no kids for cash.
No
kids for cash.
cash.
Whose kids? Our kids.
Our
That's
kids.
right. And if you fuck up, we'll put you on the internet.
We're watching.
Right on. Afro
Have a
Man
good night.
special.
Thank you for the invite on here, guys. Hey, I hope everybody have a good night and be safe.
You too.
Yep.
brother.
Thank you guys. And all you guys, hey, if you guys want to have a chat in a minute, you're more welcome to call me.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Darren, appreciate it, brother. Hustling us here tonight. You have an awesome night, guys.
All right, you too.
Yep. Have fun, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet. They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are going to show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day a child per minute is kidnapped. And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS Punishers mount up. Here comes the CPS Punisher. Anonymous tip, another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned, I see every violation, every forged line, every ex-part hearing, every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight. CPS and the courts have lied to us all. The courts will not disgrace the family. CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, one tap and their empire cracks. We rise, we take our kids back. The app is called the CPS Punisher. in the night. The binder full of secrets and weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tevio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us. Now we're the loudest voice in the room. CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. But as her, the children never leave again. Families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge, this is reunification. This ain't rage, this is resurrection. Open the app, step into the fight. You ready? CPS Punisher! The app you need when they took your kid. CPS Punisher! The truth they hid, now the truth gets lit. Punisher! Download the power, take back the throne. Punisher! You're never alone. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete, family restored. The bar is finished, the Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty. CPS Punisher! Here comes the CPS Punisher.